Hi everybody, I'm muted. I'm unmuted now. All right, we're good. We're all here. Hello, hello everybody. Welcome in for this most unusual of circumstances. I hope everyone's ready for a fun time. I've been meaning to play this game for a long time. Long time. I think I'm the only Dwarven VTuber out there that hasn't done this yet. But here we are. We're going to be playing some Deep Rock Galactic tonight. Something that I hold very dear to my heart. And also, as if any of you couldn't tell, thank you, Stream Elements Bot. Tonight's stream is sponsored by Star Trek Fleet Command, a fun mobile game. Download now. I will try to abide by their rules as best I can, but for tonight, it's Deep Rock Galactic all the way. I'm hoping to get my name known and, Starfleet Command, but the entry fee just to get licensed is kind of high, so I'm here to work part-time and make that money up. The mining colonies aren't great money, but I think it suits my skills. If anyone would like to know more about the game, you can click on the link that Stream Elements Bot just showed, or you can go to the panel underneath my video player, or you can type !code, and it'll bring up a QR code to download the game with my referral link built in. If anyone wants to play, I can tell you right now that it is, Can I pull up? Don't tell anybody I'm pulling up their talking points. You can play this wonderful mobile MMORPG strategy game with fun new characters included, as recently they've added Pike, Spock, and someone named La'an? I don't know who that is. I believe Reginald Barclay has also been included in the game. All of these are very real characters that you can definitely get and help you in a fashion. Luan, is that right? Lon? Lon. Lon. It's that one. They are promoting their new expansion, Strange New Worlds, in correspondence with the release of the third season of Star Trek Lower Decks coming out on Paramount Plus, a show that I actually rather like for what I've seen. It answers a lot of the questions that kept me from watching the show mainly, and I strongly recommend it, in all honesty. It's actually pretty fun, especially if you don't know anything about Star Trek. It's pretty easily digestible. But from what I understand, we have a fair number of Trek heads in the chat, so I'm sure if I say anything dumb, I'll be kindly corrected. Additionally, if anybody who downloads the game reaches level 5, manages to get their second ship, your name will appear just above my head on the little dingly. So if you want your chance to be shown live on television, there it is. In the meantime, though, I think I've dallied too much. It's time for me to start earning my wage here on Hoxus, grand mining planet, in a sector I'm unaware of. This is the closest thing I could get to showing you my daily life as a dwarf. These are dwarves in space, and I think it would be a good idea if I showed you just a little bit of my daily routine here. We're going to go in here. We're going to fly solo, because I don't want people on the internet scuffing up my stream. And we're going to go low risk, because it's been a hot minute since I played. We're going to mine up a whole bunch of morkite, a desperately needed mineral here in Mission Control. Before we go, though,
Leave no dwarf behind.
we're going to get a totally work-safe, normal beverage to wet our whistle before we go off into our day job. Cheers, everybody. And we're off to work. This is our commute. It's dreadfully fast. So buckle up and hold on tight. It's Synthahol. You're correct. It definitely is. You don't get drunk on Synthahol. That's correct. Neither did I. You will have noticed that, I believe. I can't wink in my PNG. All it takes, none of the effects, exactly. And that's what makes it work safe. Never mind that the work safe accident ratio here on this planet is extremely high. We get workplace accidents almost every single time we touch down, but that's kind of just how it is here. This is a high intensity job. We're gonna take it easy. We're gonna mine up some Morkite, valuable fuel for the company. Easy stuff. It's just deep space mining. It's like deep ocean mining, but with none of the risks, none of the drawbacks. We might get a little crunchy here and there, but let me know if anything seems out of sorts. I still haven't solved anything with the ISP, so if we do disconnect, that may happen. Sit tight, I'll try to get back as soon as I can. Is that my Bosco? Alright, that's my Bosco. Hello, everybody. Welcome down on Hoxie's. This here's Bosco, my trusty companion. You can look all around. This here's Molly, the mule, who will be carrying all of our loot today. And I'm stuck in a hole. Here we go. Up there we have some starch nuts. A very important ingredient in Synthahol. But I don't think I am gonna try and climb that far to get it. Right now, we're gonna focus on the mission. I have a lot of debt to pick up. For starters, we're gonna get Bosco to take care of the gold up there while I have a look around. Casually sliding under the gust. We have Nitra up there. Very valuable for our munitions. And then we have our Morkite up there, which is, I believe, a fuel that we'll need for all of our extensive robotics. And so high up, I'll have Bosco go mine that. Scoop up all this gold and deliver it to Molly. And that's the rhythm of the game. At least until we start getting in trouble. Alright. Oh. Are we under attack? We are! A rival company's mech has showed up to give us some trouble. One of those games that looks super cool, but I know would be better with others. It is. It's fun on its own, but I definitely have had so much fun with company. Bosco isn't a very good conversationalist, I'll be honest. He kind of just checks out when he checks in for the job, you know what I mean? Clocks in and just shuts up for a good solid 8 hours. Not great company. If you do enjoy this game, pretty much all of the other Dwarven VTubers play it on semi-regular basis. I can shout them out later. Model employee, you're correct. Oh, God. Alright, let's gather some of this up ourselves. Can't let Bosco do all the work. I'm gonna call Molly over. Wait for the sandstorm to die down. Sooner or later, we'll have to move on. Just gotta scoop up the minerals, and then we'll carry on.
At least we don't have to haul all these minerals around ourselves. None can stand before us.
Hey, good job, Bosco. Dig. So, while we're rummaging around looking for our minerals, I have a question for the Trek fans. big question. I'm sorry if I am not the most impressive person to be asking this. Am I wrong in believing that Spock is basically the second most famous Trek character out there? I feel like he's pretty well known. I feel like he's pretty important. He's shown up in at least 2 series that I'm aware of. First most famous. Would you put him? Or Kirk, really? I would put Picard first, honestly. Maybe that's just skewing to my age range, but I don't. Yeah, exactly. Picard has all the memes. You gotta clock in on the memes. But I feel like Spock has shown up for what? At least 2 series, maybe more in some capacity. I feel like he's very important. You know what? That's fair. That's a fair point. He's the essence of Spock is everywhere, even if the character himself is not. So, you know, with that in mind, I would say he probably is the most famous. I just think of Picard first when I hear of Star Trek. TOS animated and disco. Disco? What is disco? He is in Strange New Worlds too. That's true. Discovery. Oh, yes. I don't know anything about Discovery, honestly. I don't know much about most of Star Trek. I haven't really watched any of it. But I think Discovery is very, very far off my radar if I were to make an estimation. Probably like DS9. Well, tell me about DS9. I don't... If I recall correctly, my best memory is that, like, it takes a sharp turn in tone than a lot of the Star Trek before it, but I could be wrong about that. You like the complicated politics of war? We'll say yes. We'll say yes. I think it's fun. I watched Game of Thrones, and that's basically all that's left after season 1. How greasy is it? Is it Game of Thrones greasy? Interpersonal conflicts on a singular location. Would that be on the starship? I can't imagine they get off the ship all that often. What do I think about the Irish? I'm sure they make great members of Starfleet. Oh, it's a space station. See, that shows how little I know. We're learning things today, everybody. I'm gradually becoming a Trekkie through osmosis. One of the main characters is very Irish. I feel as though I have listened to enough British people making fun of him or imitating him that I should know who it is, but I don't. I am aware of them, but not who they are. Is he like the weapons guy or the engineer or something like that? Wait, no, was he part of holodeck? Was he part of the holodeck? Chief engineer. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Whew. Oh no! Oh no! Ow! Okay. Oh, I'm learning so much about Star Trek. I'm not paying attention to my job. Excuse me. I'm gonna get written up after this. Show about politics in the shades of gray. I assume the Klingon are very important to that. Heavy assumptions. They seem as though they would complicate things when regarding a war. But is that the one that gets like really deep into the Borg? Am I correct in remembering that?
Bosco, line it.
No, that's Voyager. Okay. He was a transporter specialist on the Enterprise, and then they decided you're really good. Let's put you on the next show too. All right, fair. Very fair. You know what? Rewarding hard work. I'm all about that. That's good. You know, you become a beloved personality on the ship. Why not a promotion, right? Oh, Tea-Master, thank you. Oh God, we're getting crunchy. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the subs. I wish I had a spiel to say after these, but I haven't figured one out yet. But thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. Today we are learning about Star Trek, which I am a complete newbie in, while playing Dwarves in Space, the game. You know, a little exchange of information. You tell me about what it's like to be diplomatic. I show you how to mine in space. It's a win-win. Never mind that my robots are fighting. It's fine. I'm not needed here.
Oh yeah. Wally is on the way.
O'Brien is fantastic and has a wonderful wife and family. Are most characters in the show single? I feel like that was something that was very much promoted in the first series, but I don't know what the standards are beyond that. I know the first series did a lot of first things ever done on television, and it was very highly praised for that, if a little bit testy on audiences at the time. I don't remember hearing about anybody having a wife and kids where it's not, like, related to a deep tragedy. Starting area you were in, the main lobby, is a lot like DS9 in aesthetics. Oh. Inspiration can come from anywhere, especially one of the most popular television shows on Earth. O'Brien's the only one who's married, though it's not unusual for characters to hook up over the course of the show. That checks out. It's part of the drama, isn't it? Nobody stays single, but everyone starts single. Alright, I think Morkite over here is gone. Doesn't Picard get married at one point? Does he lose them? Is that a thing? Sort of. Yeah, alright. That's close enough. I'll take that as a win. It's a win for my memory about Star Trek. Alright, so I gotta go this way. Get out of the storm, get into a tunnel. Time shenanigans? Alright, that's fair. What is with his time shenanigans? I know he gets partially Borgified. Is that right? I'm realizing how much of my knowledge is just faintly observing, like, GIFs and such. Wait, is there time travel in Star Trek? Is that a thing? He's assimilated once. Does that have... that's gotta have long-term repercussions, right? I guess it's a show with like a million seasons between its multiple series. It's bound to encounter time travel at some point.
Bloody hell, you're hot to kill.
There's an entire time cop force. Sick. Red Foreman is the big time villain. I have never heard that name before, and I feel like I should. Is he just a guy? I mean, it would make sense if it was just a guy. Red Foreman's actor from that 70s show. Alright, fair. Ooh. Oh, wait. That's not an ooh.
It can't reach that zip line ready. So long, suckers.
I need to get down to that. Ow.
This thing makes me feel good.
I gotta hack something real quick, one sec.
Unbelievable.
Huh.
Got it.
Oh god, the shields are getting closer.
Nerves of steel. Whoops.
Uh-oh. Almost there. Almost there. There we go. Okay.
Cave secured.
There we go. Disabled the turrets. We're good. The guy who said dumb butt. Got it.
Go. Get to work.
I don't think I've ever watched that 70s show, I'll be honest.
Cluster
That was
grenade.
before my time.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
Let it rain.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Multi-boom.
Alright, come on. Whew. Okay. Alright, chat. You want to see something amazing? Watch this. Look at that. A cavern of gold. We'll be here for a hot minute.
Help me with the minerals here.
Bosco's gonna need help too. That 70s show and Star Trek both have had guest appearances by The Rock.
Help me mine this.
Was that at all related to the 70s show reboot? That 70 years show? Did they have one? Was that like of the time? Was he very young then?
Bags full. Can't carry
How
it
old is
all.
The Rock? I assume he's like 40,
Need some
maybe?
free space. Molly. Mine it. Deposit time.
He's pretty young then, like 20s. He's 50 years old now. Okay, that makes sense.
My bag is full. Molly, come here.
He played a space gladiator and fought 7 of 9 in Voyager.
This is thirsty.
I'm gonna admit that I don't know if 7 of 9 is a person, or do you mean like 7 of the 9 crew members or something like that?
That guy in mission control. He really has
He was wrestling in the early 90s, that's right. I've been informed that once you reach a certain rank in Star Trek Fleet Commander, that you get to join or make your own crew, and or join one. So maybe we'll have one for ourselves, everybody. Like I promised with other unnamed mobile game, but did not accomplish. And remember, if you haven't downloaded the game yet, you can hit !code, code, and that'll bring up the card code for easy downloads. Oh gosh. She kept her designation instead of a name. Oh,
I should call for the mule.
very cool. On that 70s show, they did a fun thing and cast The Rock as his own father, Rocky Johnson, who was a big name in the Territory days. Oh! That would do it. That's clever. What is that noise?
Bosco, mine it. Oh yeah.
All right, so we've figured out that in Deep Space Nine, things get weird, I guess. The Rock is there, Or was that Voyager? No, that was Deep Space Nine. Do they do cameos that often? I never thought of Star Trek being a big cameo show.
Attention, got a swarm on the way. Repeat, swarm.
Oh god, there's so much.
I'm totally
Rocky
loaded.
Johnson's from Nova Scotia. I had no idea. I don't think of Nova Scotia as a big wrestling town, I'll be honest. It's not a town, you know what I mean.
Incoming. Smoke him if you got him.
Alright. Jason Alexander. Well, Jason Alexander's in everything. He dug his hands into every pie he could for a good while.
Wine it.
And then none ever again. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely had his summer, didn't he?
Double jointed freaks. Die.
Uh-oh. There we go. What just fell over there? Oh. Oh, we gotta get that. Where'd he go?
We're almost through the wave, team. Go, go.
Oh, come on, crawler. Oh, you'll do. I'll leave boss go to the crawler. There we go. He didn't have his summer. He was in the hospital for it. Oh, no! I don't know anything about Jason Alexander, I'll be honest. One thing after another, it's just a huge blank spot in my memory from the
Let's go somewhere.
from the late 90s to 2012, I don't know. I stopped existing for that time period.
Go fetch.
Oh, good. Oh,
Annoying
bug bots.
little buggers.
Excuse me.
Taste the pickaxe.
Yeah.
Inventorious.
Ah, crud.
Time to deposit.
Molly.
Just take your
Molly,
sweet
come here,
time,
hon.
old lady. I've got all day.
Here's some gold. Alright. Never mind our distractions. We're already about a third of our way through our objective right now.
Down the hatch.
Never mind that we've been almost exclusively mining gold this entire time.
Get to work.
You know what? It makes the world go around. It's important. I can't just pass up gold. That'd be out of character, for one thing. When are we mining diamonds? That's above my pay grade, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, no diamonds. Planet's not dense enough. You see all this sand? Not enough gravity.
Time to find Molly. Help
Up
me
there.
with the minerals here.
The temporal prime directive doesn't apply to whales. What does that mean? What? Wait. Do whales time travel? Is that a thing in Star Trek?
Help me mine this.
Have you given me a reference that'll take like 30 minutes to explain? Because I'm down.
It's a mystery to me how all these minerals fit inside.
Star Trek V, The Quest for Whales from the Past. What does that mean? Can you give me a Cliff Notes version? In one of the TOS movies, they had to travel back in time to collect whales because something in the future was speaking in whale. What? Okay, you know what? Sure. That definitely sounds like a Star Trek thing. Oh, T-Master. All right, one sec, everybody. Let me get somewhere safe. Thank you so much for supporting me, T-Master. Ada ada. Oh, that's Bosco. Okay. They needed a live humpback or something to say, "Don't blow up Earth."
Shield charged and ready.
Would you trust a whale to ask an alien race not to explode Earth? I don't feel like we've been kind enough to them for that. If I was a whale, I wouldn't. I feel like I'd ask them to, like, be selective. I didn't know what that did, and Twitch said you should redeem us. Yes, it's a redeem, specifically to embarrass me and to show you that I treasure you and your presence. So thank you. Assume the whale doesn't want to blow up. Well, like, what time period did the whale come from, right? Because if it was a modern day whale, not a lot of kindness in their hearts for us anymore. Sometimes you gotta make a choice for the good of whale kind, and if space whale kind is thinking about blowing up Earth, you know, sometimes you take the opportunity. Especially if it's hundreds of years in the future. You're not gonna be there to see it. Why not? Transparent aluminum? Excuse me? I hear my roommate giggling over in the other side of the room, so clearly that's a thing. I don't know how many of these Star Trek facts are just me being punked right now. All of them sound reasonable, but exclusively for Star Trek. If you were to tell me about any other series, I wouldn't believe it.
I need to deposit in the mule. Where is that damn mule? Watch and learn.
It's real, all of them.
Help me with the minerals here.
Should they be? Is that allowed? Can you explain transparent aluminum to me? Why aren't all the spaceships transparent? Well, I guess aluminum isn't exactly, you know, key spacefaring material. Not very protective. A little bit, but not very.
Go! Get to work! Nice and oily.
I don't know what to make of all of this information. Also, Boggy, you said you wanted to mine diamonds. Well, this is the closest thing I got.
Out of today.
I hit the wrong button. This is an Enora pearl. You find it in the wall. It's a big ol' beautiful pearl. It makes you just want to like rub your hands against it, and it sounds lovely. It sounds valuable because it is.
Could need a new
Enora
caster.
pearl.
Getting
That's it.
tired of this old rust bucket.
Alright. Strong enough to hold a whale, and Scotty and Bones pester some fabrication company to make it by showing them how to make transparent aluminum. That doesn't explain anything.
I got no
They just knew how to do it and said, please, why don't you? I guess it's strong enough, so sure, but why does it have to be transparent?
Get ready. They'll be with you shortly.
I guess they hadn't invented Zoom calls yet. Whatever. I'm sure the whale was very happy. I can't ask for much more. Transparent aluminum is like super windows, not glass. I mean, yeah, sure, that does sound like way better than what we've got. Scotty is an engineer from the 23rd century. He knows how to make stuff. I only wish I could show you the face I'm making. They traded a whale tank for future tech. Okay. Yeah, sure. Alright. This all checks out. This all sounds right, but... Wait, did they bring the whale back to its home timeline, or did the episode just kind of end there and hand wave it away? That was a movie they brought with. So he was just with them the entire time? Hi, Turnip 190, welcome in. The great thing about Star Trek time travel is that whatever they did in the past becomes canon for the future. Alright. Yeah, that sounds about right. They also brought a woman with them. Well, they've got women normally. They don't normally have whales. That's not what I'm worried about. People time travel all the time. I don't think sea creatures are prone to doing that. From SeaWorld? What? Is it real SeaWorld? Was the movie sponsored by SeaWorld? Sponsored, produced, real SeaWorld? What? So, it's I don't know if she's from actual SeaWorld, but they got a whale that was captive. Okay. Wait, so... Yeah, I guess... when was this movie made? I guess they didn't have a choice. They would have a real whale, wouldn't they? They're not gonna stop motion a whale for Star Trek. They got 2 whales? Was the second whale the alien creature? 89. Yeah, they didn't really have a choice, did they? They had to go all in on real whales. One inside the other. What does that mean? What do you mean, one whale inside of another? That doesn't... That's not... That doesn't mean anything. It was pregnant. Don't ask questions about the future of their race. Wait, hold on. So, was the whale that was forcibly time traveled pregnant, or was the alien that spoke in whale pregnant? Or was it like a don't blow up the earth and I'll have your child union? So the time traveling whale had a time traveling baby. Okay. Can it time travel now? I assume crazy things happen when you time travel while in utero. Time traveler's wife and whatever. Wait, no, that doesn't cover it. You know what I mean. Wait, so if you're telling me that if this hit mobile MMO Star Trek Fleet Command is accurate to the series, there is a non-zero chance that there will be a time-traveling whale available at some point in the future. Pop out and get your 3000th birthday. Jesus. Jesus. Ended up making an alliance for us, by the way. Oh, thank you. I think the threatening to blow up Earth wasn't an alien itself. It was like a device left by aliens who were fond of whales. Does that make it a whale robot? I want to jump in call with you and talk about these random facts so bad. Oh, Team Master, thank you again. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. My heart is filled with warmth and Star Trek knowledge. Tonight is a good night. Congratulations, everyone who's received. Oh no, it's too many emotes on the screen. Oh no. God. The alliance I made is called Blazing Boars, with a tag with it is Leshii. Well, there you go. That's the information you need if you want to join our alliance.
I made one with the tag Leshii.
Oh,
What
Zip.
about Rock Gem?
Zip also made one with the tag Leshii. So if you want to join either of them, those are the tags to look for. If you'd like to fight over supremacy of Leshii space, I encourage it. Yeah. It was a bomb left by a Whalaboo. That checks out. It was programmed to terraform the Earth if it didn't find a whale. So they went to find a whale. Oh my god, that's amazing. What a mess. You know what? I don't think there are any rules against this. Gird your loins, Quo. I'll bring you in. We'll talk Trek. I should have your reactive ready, I think. Sit tight, everybody. One sec. Ring-a-ling, ring-a-ling.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Hello, Quo. Well, thank you for coming in to provide some wisdom.
Hi.
There are rules against getting a whale,
Sorry,
though.
I was making sure I had everything working.
No worries, no worries. Temporal Prime
If you're
Directive.
talking, I cannot hear you through Discord.
Oh, right. Hi. I forgot. There we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I was still on push to talk. Don't mind me.
No, that's fair.
Trollbot down and hackable.
All right. So,
Blame my stumpy finger.
Joe says there are rules against getting a whale through the Temporal Prime Directive. What is that? I assume it's don't time travel.
Well, so just like there's the Federation has its own Prime Directive of like, don't mess with other cultures that aren't ready to come to space. Don't interfere with their politics unless they're already in space.
Yeah.
You don't want to like forward you don't want to make a civilization suddenly space bound if they're not ready for it. You know, that's
Yeah,
the main Prime Directive. But for the temporal one, it's like you don't mess with the time frame. If you go back in time, you do not change the course of history, or else.
Which I assume happens literally every time they ever go back in time.
Usually, yes. Sometimes. Sometimes they specifically have to do something to make sure the event happens. So, like, sometimes, like, they meet a character that they really like, and they realize, oh, this character dies in history. We have to make sure they they die. Pardon me.
How dare you?
That was my fault.
It's okay.
I forgot we're not talking, just talking as friends. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's this conversation between friends is sponsored by.
You were doing so good, and I came in here like a battering ram and just ruined it all.
It's fine. They're not paying me. They're paying me.
True.
They gave that guy the recipe for transparent aluminum.
Yeah.
Or they have to stop someone else messing with time. Okay, well that I can believe. That's not hard to believe.
It's stuff like in specifically talking about Deep Space Nine again. There's an episode where they end up back in time and like I think it's supposed to be the early 2020s. Funny enough.
Oh no! Oh, that can't have aged well.
Well, it's talking about like class inequality and stuff like that, and specifically,
oh, no.
there was like, well, it's talking about riots and like stuff like that, and so the characters have to initiate a specific riot that happened because of where they were at the time. So they have to cause like this history-changing riot that already happened, but now they're part of it.
Oh no!
Yeah, so it's stuff like that where like, oh, something happened in history, we have to make sure it happens again.
2024, it actually aged perfectly. All right.
Yep.
All right. Fair.
It's stuff like that where it's like, don't change things, and if you do, we have to clean it up, or you go to like time jail. There's like a whole like multiple part episode in like Voyager about that, where like it's a weird time mystery. And it's just like multiple episodes of jumping forward and backwards in time to try and figure out what's going wrong.
And this falls on Starfleet's shoulders. How? Like, why is this their responsibility?
Because the Federation members are the reason that time is messed up. So now they have to deal with it and fix it. Like in these specific episodes, it was Janeway and Seven of Nine who did something that messed up they had to fix the time frame because they were involved in it somehow.
Wait, so, Turnip says, wasn't that one of the episodes where they weren't sure if they time traveled or hallucinated?
Yeah.
Scavenger Hyena, do you have to go to timeout?
And then James T. Kirk and his crew had a long list of temporal violations, at least 17 in total. And yeah, that's true. It's true.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's lovely.
Not to mention they encounter historical figures somehow, like the infamous episode where Abraham Lincoln comes aboard.
Oh no, I heard of that.
I'm not going any further on that one, but yeah, he shows up.
Oh no. Welcome in, Croc. Congratulations on your sub. I hope you enjoy the emotes. They accidentally get a historical figure killed, so Cisco needs to impersonate him.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. No, I'm not done with the time jail yet. With Seven of Nine and Captain Janeway.
Okay.
So they caused the temporal problem. Yes.
From what I remember, it's been a while since I've seen this episode. They were either involved in it or caused it.
Okay.
Or no, I think it was someone on their ship that caused it, like someone that was like a seditious spy or something for like time crimes.
Did Time Police tell them to fix it, or was
Yes.
it like a No,
Time Police came in and like kidnapped them to like I think it's like the 25th century, and like okay, you need to fix this right now.
That's dumb, okay? Because that is I'm sponsored by Star Trek Fleet Command. My opinions are my own and do not reflect the company. That's dumb. Because that's like it's like working at a Little Caesars and getting robbed, and corporate comes in and says you have to get the money back. Not like we're calling the police. It's the police showing up at the door and saying, well, what are you going to do about it? You better fix it.
I mean, it's like...
Am I wrong?
No, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Don't mind that I am comparing Starfleet Command to working at Little Caesars.
Gotta keep those nacelles hot and ready, like a nice.
Gotta keep the universe itself hot and ready. Oh my god.
Star Trek is something else, man.
Mark Twain came aboard in The Next Generation. All right, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole thing too. That's another time travel where freaking Data goes back in time, and he ends up hanging out with Mark Twain, and also
it would be Data.
And Whoopi Goldberg.
It would be good. Wait, hold on. Wait, no. She was an actor in the show. Yes, it wasn't literal Whoopi.
It wasn't
Whoopi
actually
Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. It was her character who lives like a thousand or something years, and she happened to be hanging out with Mark Twain.
Look, okay, I can believe Whoopi Goldberg and Mark Twain hanging out. I can imagine Data and Mark Twain hanging out. I can't imagine the three of them in the same room at the same time.
Get this home safely, will you, Molly?
It's wild, man. There's so much wild stuff.
Remember, Janeway never does anything wrong. It's always someone else.
It's true.
Oh, I'm having the best time in my life.
James. So Leshii, I'm
Yes.
sure you're aware that Star Trek has a lot of moral dilemma episodes.
Yes.
In that, like, characters have to do maybe something that isn't the best because it's the best for everyone else involved.
Yes.
Do you know anything about a character named Tuvix?
No, I've never heard of this character before in my life, and you're giggling.
Yes. So, in Voyager, there's two characters named Tuvok and Neelix.
Hold on.
Tuvok is... Yeah, go on. Did you catch on something already?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, what'd you catch?
I would like you to continue before I reveal my thoughts.
So Tuvok is a Vulcan, like Spock,
Uh-huh.
He's a pretty decently cool character. He's still a Vulcan, but he's interesting.
Okay.
Neelix is a space cat, and
Hold on. I'm gonna need a moment to process that part now.
the whole premise of Voyager is that their ship ends up in an uncharted section of the galaxy, so they're like encountering new races that the Federation does not know.
Okay.
So they encounter this race called the Talaxians, which is Neelix, and they're like these weird cat, kind of not cat, and it's like even Iggy's like, you talk about Tuvix.
Hi, Iggy. Welcome in.
So these two characters were out on a mission, and they had to come back to the ship, and they were transported back up. But as Star Trek does, there was a transporter accident.
Of course.
Something happened. They combined into one person named Tuvix.
Does that stay the way forever?
No, but it causes many issues in that they both have the memories of both people, but they are
Oh.
technically their own person with their own personality.
Well, I think we're actually
In the same
doing
body.
alright so far.
Right. So they look like a combination of Neelix and Tuvok, but act like a completely different person than both of them. And the dilemma comes to be Janeway needs Tuvok and Neelix back to split apart, but Tuvix doesn't want to split or die. Because they are technically their own person now.
Oh.
And Janeway is like, no, get in the pod and die. Like, that's the end of the episode. Janeway's like, I'm ordering you to come here and die. I need them back.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Up until the end of the episode, even Tuvix tries to run away, and they capture him. And they're like, no, you need to die because we need these two characters back right now. It's
What
true.
a...
Nobody needs Neelix, but, you know.
I don't know what to make of this information. You said a whole lot of words that I'm fairly certain are illegal in several countries.
You know, it's fine.
Too old for this crap.
Yeah, Janeway and Tuvok were friends. Pretty close friends, that's fair.
Well, why can't she be a friend with the fusion?
Well, that's kind of what he was saying. Is like, I have the memories and skills of both. I know how to do what they do. I can do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And Janeway's like, no. Yeah, Tuvix is also like a third of a plant because they were like collecting plant samples. So,
Wait,
you know,
that whole... Can you send me a picture of this creature?
are you sure? All right, hang on. Let me.
I'm not sure, but I'm about to be.
No. Hang on. Let me prep you. Okay, I'm gonna show you them separated first.
Will this make me regret? Are you giving me the bad
No.
part first? Or-
No, I'm giving you the good part. This is Tuvok.
Okay.
This is. I'm gonna give you a very bad picture of Neelix on purpose, but this is Neelix.
Is that just indicative of Neelix as a character?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's Neelix,
Okay.
and
If you do send a picture of the fusion, spoiler it because I'll have to look at it once this mission's over.
and I'm spoiling it. And this is Tuvix.
Okay. Will you send me a picture of the step parent, the orchids, as well?
I can try. I don't remember specifically what they are.
Okay.
Yeah, we meant to be talking about time travel, but then I was like, hey, do you know who Tuvix is? And I just went down this rabbit hole. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I've derailed everything.
We are talking about Star Trek because this whole stream is sponsored by the new Star Trek mobile game, which is coming. A new update coming out soon. Wahoo! There's the game Star Trek Fleet Command. If you join up, good things will happen to you and me. I, however, am a dead-on, bone simple, like, non-Trekkie. I don't know anything about the series. I know Spock, I know Kirk, I know Picard, mostly from memes.
I've only seen most of the series once. I've seen DS9 twice now, but
Oh.
I remember some of the stuff.
That's fair. Janeway did a genocide? What? So I'm
Kinda.
learning about all of this Star Trek for the first time. If this is your first time showing up in a while, I don't know anything.
Yeah, Janeway does some things. You know, Janeway is Janeway.
All right, let's have a look at these characters.
So the
Oh,
first one is Tuvok.
Tuvok.
That's
Okay,
the Vulcan.
I'm
And
gonna
then
go
the
ahead and
second
say
one,
Tuvok is pretty chill. I'm pretty into that guy. Looks
no,
good.
Tuvok's cool. He
Yeah.
also makes really good, like, outside of his character, like the actual actor Tim Russ makes some pretty good music.
Hell yeah. I would also be best buds with this guy. 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
The second guy is Neelix.
Not a fan. Right off the
He
bat.
is kind of gross.
Kind
There
of.
was also a listing on eBay not too long ago for the Neelix prosthetic teeth, if you wanted to buy them.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, those sure are, aren't they? Okay.
And then the last one is the combination.
All right, here we go.
Here it comes.
You know what?
It's
I
not
like
as
that-
bad as you think it is, but
I like that better than Neelix.
yeah, well, that's the thing. It looks like the character looks at least okay looking. It's not
Yeah.
the worst design.
Like, oh, you look like you could be related to Worf.
Big old head.
Yeah, big ol' head. Yeah, you know what? I can see why maybe seeing this character would make you not feel fear for seeing Neelix.
Yeah, Scavenger. Yeah, that's another episode.
Didn't Jinray and some other dude abandon their lizard? What?
So, I don't in this one.
While you do that, I'm gonna turn down the game audio a little bit so I can hear you better.
Yes. Do you know how the ships get around in Star Trek?
Warp drive?
Yes, and most
nailed it.
ships at the top of their design. Yeah, it was her and another character from the Voyager called Tom Paris. But he's like, I think he's a helmsman. I forget what exactly his role is because he gets demoted once and then he gets back up. I think he's lieutenant or something.
Ooh.
But he the whole point of Voyager is, like I said, they're trapped in another system that is like uncharted and they don't know where things are.
Got
So
it.
a lot of the show is them going from like planet to planet trying to find supplies to survive until they can get back home.
Okay.
And as such, they are trying to upgrade the Voyager as best they can to like maybe get them home fast.
Gotcha. Okay.
And on one episode, they decide, hey, we can maybe push our engines to get us to warp 10, which is something that was never really able to be done back in the regular world, galaxy where they're
Unprecedented.
from.
Wild.
Unprecedented. It's extremely fast. Like warp 9.9 or whatever is like extremely fast and like could pull your ship apart. That's how
And-
fast it is.
And here they are nearing light speed.
Oh,
Exceeding
they're already
light speed.
past light speed. yeah.
Nearing sublight speed.
Yeah, they've gone faster than warp 10, and as they've gone to this point, Janeway and Tom Paris. I don't remember the specific details of the whole episode, but I remember Janeway and Tom Paris basically like devolve
Oh.
and become like giant salamanders.
I know people
And-
like that. Carry on.
Yeah, and so they end up like getting on this planet somehow. I don't remember how they get to the planet, but they're on this other planet, and then other members of Voyager come down to find them, and they go, "Oh, in the time that they've been together and doing stuff, they had a salamander baby."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, alright.
And so, oh, was it that they were lost and crashed? I can't remember exactly how it happened, how they got to the planet. Like my memory of this episode is a little fuzzy. All
I mean,
remember is
salamanders
they go
can't drive
warp
a
10.
spaceship.
All I remember is they go warp 10, lizard sex happens, and then they move on.
Yeah, alright, cool.
Yep, that's Star Trek. Yeah, nobody likes that episode.
Dude, I don't know. I kind of like that episode. That sounds great. The warp field they generate is literally called that because they warp space around the ship, making the points of space closer. They aren't going faster
Yeah.
than time. They're making the distance shorter. Like folding
Yeah,
a
it's-
map.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that checks out. I can't remember where I heard that analogy, but it's something.
I forgot at the end of the episode they make a point of not telling Janeway about their kid. They're the little salamander kid.
Oh no, but Salamander Jim. He's out there all alone. Alright, Janeway's not the bad one on that case. Maybe a little bit because of maybe doing two dangerous things, but she's not at
Janeway
least a
isn't
bad
always the
salamander
problem.
mom.
She's not always the problem. She's just sometimes the catalyst instead.
Alright. She didn't ask to have a salamander baby.
Yeah, but she approved going that fast when everyone else was like, maybe not. Maybe we don't do that.
Alright, so this is a good lesson for all you at home. Don't go too fast on the highway or you're going to come out in the McDonald's drive-thru with a salamander baby.
That's a good story to bring up. Thank you, Scavenger. I appreciate it.
It's all of these stories. Every single one of them sounds incorrect.
And somehow it's absolutely not.
I don't understand a lot about this show. I'm not surprised that I missed it with how it doesn't sound like a real show.
Yeah.
And yet, how many
and yet
how many series of Star Trek are out now?
a lot. So there's the original series, then there's the Next Gen, which was the second one, and then after that it was Deep Space Nine and Voyager.
Okay.
After that was Enterprise. And then it kind of goes dark for a little bit until the movies, the J.J. Abrams movies come out.
Oh, with the handsome folks?
Yeah, with the handsome lads.
Kirk?
Yeah, with handsome Chris Pine Kirk.
Yes, and
then those movies come out.
Twink Spock.
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
So then those movies come out.
Mm-hmm. And then a whole new wave of interest shows up.
Yeah, and then I think it starts over, or they started again with Discovery. Like 2016, maybe?
Okay.
Oh yeah, and the animated series was after the original series, because it was kind of like a continuation of the original series in very silly animation form.
I mean, that's indicative of the time. Batman went the same route, kind of, or I guess that was in reverse.
Yeah, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, and now Strange New Worlds.
Yes. Have you watched Picard yet?
No, I have not watched Picard personally. I've watched Strange New Worlds. I haven't watched Picard.
Okay. Lower Decks is actually really great, says Yuki. I agree. I'm not really a Trek person, and yet I've watched a good chunk of at least season 1 of Lower Decks, and I honestly found it really easy to digest and fun. Strongly recommend
I've heard a lot of people say that Lower Decks is actually interesting.
I have had it described to me in the sense of like, it's cleaning up after the main show does its thing where they go to a planet and they solve its problems and then they leave and never come back. And these are the characters that have to go back and check in on things. And 100% of the time, it has immediately gone back to being bad.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
But it's a lot of fun to watch them. Like, it's basically made to make references to the original series and resulting, plot lines. They have their own, but every single thing seems to be related to something that's already happened in a way that's easily digestible and not very jargony. It's a really good introduction, I'll be honest.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
I think that's what it does, is it gets you interested in, like, oh, this is kind of it's accessible. You can watch it, you can get into it and not feel like you're overwhelmed.
Yeah, no,
by trying to be like, okay, what do I watch?
It's really good about that. I haven't felt, it hasn't made me feel dumb. It hasn't made me feel unincluded at any point. It's a really good intro. Don't have Paramount Plus, so I couldn't watch Picard if I wanted to. I have not heard good things about Picard at all.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I don't want to hurt your contract.
No,
I haven't heard
it's
good
fine.
things either.
No. I'm only supposed to be kind about the game. They didn't say anything about anything else.
Loopholes, baby.
Loophole. And since we're not streaming the game yet, wink, wink. That'll be coming on Tuesday. So keep your eyes peeled. Make some deep references too. Yeah, so my roommates have watched a lot more of it than I have. I kind of just watch it when it's convenient, over the shoulder, that sort of style. And it's not bad. It's fun, easy to digest, as I've already said. They have mentioned that it makes pretty solid references to some obscure cuts in there. I imagine that it would be a lot of fun if an old Trek head hasn't engaged with it yet. I found the company that provided the boots for the uniforms in Strange New Worlds. What?
That is a very specific thing to find.
are are they good boots? I hope so. You too can be a strange new world when you wear these shoes.
You too can also be strange and new.
They have Star Trek insignias and everything. All right, well, fair enough. That checks out. Quote, talk about Red Squadron and Tom Paris. Yes, tell me about Paris.
Down the hatch.
How does he compare to Paris, France?
So Tom Paris, I'm trying to remember his backstory because it's been a little bit. Again, I haven't watched a lot of these shows more than once.
Okay.
From what I remember, Paris was like a kind of criminal on Earth, but he was also not like a serious criminal, just kind of like petty crime stuff.
Okay.
And he was just kind of a punk.
Yeah.
But he was also, I think, formerly in the Federation, but he got discharged or something.
Ah.
But when this mission was happening to find that Janeway was going on, she recruited him again and was like, "Hey, do you want a chance to wipe the slate clean? Come with me."
Have a
And so
lizard
he-
baby with me.
Well, that's later on. He was also the son of an admiral from Federation. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the Tom Paris' dad was like a major admiral.
All right, so big nepotism here.
I don't know the full lore of Tom Paris. Again, I'm not super well versed in Voyager as other people are. But Red Squadron, however, is an interesting story. So Red Squadron is like the top of the top of the top at like the Federation Academy.
Ah.
So a lot of them are like these super gifted like 19, 20, like not even 19, like 16 to 20-year-olds.
Oh, so they're the Mavericks.
They're very much Mavericks. They're like training to be like the next generation of like the upper echelon officers and stuff in the Starfleet, right?
Gotcha. The privileged kids.
Right, and so you kind of hear about these characters like early on in Deep Space Nine because there's a character that ends up going to the Academy who wants to join Red Squad,
Ah.
but ends up not doing it because they're like, you don't need to be the best to be good at what you do, sort of story.
Aw, how heartwarming.
It's a good story, but then Red Squad comes back, and he's supposed to, this is for Tom Paris. He's supposed to be this character from TNG, but they couldn't get the rights, so they reused the actor in the back and changed his name to Tom Paris. I didn't know that.
Wow.
That's really funny. I didn't know that.
What a unique situation.
That's a really unique situation. Jeez.
Yeah.
But so Red Squad comes back in Deep Space Nine later on. I actually just watched this episode not too long ago with some people.
Ah.
And so there's these two characters named. One of them's named Nog. He's the first Ferengi in Starfleet.
Oh,
like a-
Wesley
he's like a-
Crusher.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Wesley was also in Red Squad. Yeah.
Ugh.
Nog and Benjamin Sisko's son Jake Sisko end up going out on this mission to go talk to like the leader of the Ferengi.
Got it.
But what happens is they end up getting, I think they end up getting attacked and then saved by the Red Squad ship. And it turns out as they get on this ship that the actual captain of the ship is gone, and command is passed down to like this super inexperienced, like 19-year-old like cadet turned captain sort of person. So all these kids are being told that they're the best and they have to do this, and they're trying to complete their mission to take on this like experimental ship from the Dominion, which is like the main villain of Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
And it's like this super advanced ship that no one's like known about, and they're just supposed to be doing recon on it.
Got it.
But instead they're like, oh, we're gonna go destroy this ship. We're gonna be heroes because they've been told that they're the best and they can do it and they can like be the best of Starfleet, right?
Of course.
So they just assume that they can go do this thing. Small spoilers for the Red Squad: they almost all die.
Oh.
Yeah, they show all these like young cadets get just blown up in this ship except for one. And at the end, like as they're trying to like come to terms with what happened, Jake and Nog, they're like, okay, these kids were doing their best. Yeah, there's one survivor. It's a girl. Who I think she's like one of the lower lower ranks on the ship. And Jake and Nog are like, well, how do we tell everyone what happened here? Like, what do we say? And they start to be like, well, these kids were doing what they needed to do, and their captain kind of put them in a situation they weren't ready for. And the girl was like, no, the captain prepared us. It was our fault we didn't do this, and that kind of stuff. And so the whole thing is like, oh, these kids were not ready, and maybe we shouldn't put kids into war.
Yeah, no, that's a good moral. I like that moral.
I'm super paraphrasing because it's a pretty good episode, but it's like you watch these kids who are like very much integrated and like indoctrinated into the Stormfleet war machine because there's a war going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh no, these kids don't know what they're doing and they think they can just do whatever they want. Oh god.
Oh no. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
I don't think you can have a show like Star Trek that talks about these kinds of things and not cover that sort of situation.
I think he's right. I think Nog said at the end was like he told the girl that survived, he's like, he may have been a good man, but he was a terrible captain.
Yeah, that
or something like that.
And you know what? That's a fairly normal thing to be. A lot of people can be great at what they do, but they're not meant for leadership. Sometimes people learn that through horrible mistakes, and you have to just kind of pick up your bootstraps and carry on. Even when 9/10 of your squadron gets killed.
Trek is crazy, man. It's fun, but it's crazy.
Yeah. I hear 1,000 stories, and I'm just unclear on like what's the density of crazy story to like normal episode. What's that ratio?
You get like one or two crazy story like episodes for like every couple of really good episodes.
Okay.
So like you'll get a couple of like normal episodes, and then you'll get like a weird curveball thrown in there out of nowhere.
That's not a bad ratio. Like 1 out of 3, and that's I'd watch
like
a show with less.
You get good episodes where like you have Picard get kidnapped by the Borg and becomes a Borg himself, and it's like, okay, that's a huge 2-part episode. That's like one of the most infamous episodes. That is amazing.
Sounds sick.
And then you get episodes about Miles O'Brien, the chief engineer of Deep Space Nine, getting put into a mine prison for 30 years.
Wait, 30 real-time years?
No, he's stuck in his mind for what he perceives to be 30 years, and it's only been like a couple hours.
And he
so
comes
he's basically
out of it.
He comes out of it like partially traumatized.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, most O'Brien episodes are insane. There's another O'Brien episode where he finds out like he keeps like flash forwarding in time and seeing like himself in the same spot.
Is this like a symptom of something?
It's I forget what is exactly the symptom of, but he keeps like teleporting in and out of time frames. And he ends up having to like both save the station and stop his own murder.
Oh.
While he's flashing forward and backward in time. But again, this is a spoiler, but O'Brien that we know, that we've seen throughout this entire series, the O'Brien we know is dead, and then O'Brien from another timeline takes his spot. So technically, the O'Brien from that episode on is not the same O'Brien that we knew from the beginning of the series.
And let me guess, they never talk about it ever again.
Sure don't. Yeah.
Get an episode where it's revealed that every woman in Beverly's family is possessed by an Irish ghost?
We do not talk about that episode at all.
No, we're talking about that episode right now.
We do not talk about that episode. So there's I haven't seen that episode forever. But there's a supposed ghost that is following around Beverly Crusher's line of women. Mm-hmm. Like the entire Crusher family's life has some sort of ghost in it.
Okay.
And I think it was her grandmother recently died. And so as they're going to like say their goodbyes and like kind of settle like her grandmother's like estate
affairs.
And everything.
Yeah.
Beverly stays in her grandmother's house and encounters this ghost.
Okay.
And she starts having sex with this ghost a lot.
Hold on. Nope. Hold on. I'm going to need you to slow down a little bit. Is she convinced to do this through a normal and consensual manner?
Yes.
For a ghost?
Yeah.
So she's just cool with this. Okay.
Well, and then she starts realizing it's affecting her like judgment, and she feels like she has to keep looking for the ghost, and like she's talking to the counselor of the ship, Troy, and she's like, when I think about it, I feel like I have to do this and I have to do that, and she's like, well, Troy's like, well, that doesn't sound healthy. You should maybe do something about this. And as she tries to talk about it, the ghost just keeps trying to convince her to do this, and keeps trying to convince her, like, no, 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 just stay with me. It'll be fine. Like, stay in the house with me forever. We'll be fine together, right? And I don't remember the full plot thread. I haven't seen this one in a while. I don't remember the plot thread, but we go from the ghost being fake, I believe, to grandmother coming out of the ground as a weird, like, witch zombie thing.
What?
God, I wish I could remember. I gotta look up synopsis because it's been so long.
Does she come out of the ground to save Beverly or to claim the ghost for
No,
her
she was a
own?
villain. No, no, she became a villain.
What?
She's like the problem.
Okay. Second, I'm sorry. Secondary question: is magic real in Star Trek?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Depends on what we're talking about, because in Deep Space Nine there's some weird magic stuff, but it's also technically science. It's weird.
I guess I guess past a certain point, everything is indistinguishable from magic if it is technologically advanced enough.
Yeah. So what happens in the story? I've looked it up because I wanted to get this straight because it's a wild episode.
Okay. Yes, please.
Beverly says she wants to leave the Enterprise and live on the planet with the ghost.
Yeah.
And then Troy is like, "Oh, this guy's really, really weird, but we kind of have to accept it." Picard goes down there to kind of meet the guy, and then Ronan, the guy's name is Ronan the Ghost, and attacks Picard.
Hold on.
But
are they aware that it was a ghost before they went down to meet him, or has it always been like
no? Troy
Beverly's
doesn't
just
say that it's
talking
a
about this
ghost.
nice man?
I mean, Beverly doesn't say it's a ghost. Yeah, she just says it's a nice man she met.
Okay.
After the attack, Beverly helps Picard, and then at the cemetery, Geordi LaForge, who's the chief engineer of the Enterprise at that time, Data, are looking around to see what's going on, right?
Uh-huh.
And they found a weird energy source coming from Beverly's grandmother and her grave.
Mm-hmm.
As they open it up, her grandmother's eyes open and attacks them both.
What?
Ronan is possessing her grandmother's body. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, okay. So he's not a ghost. He's an alien who has like a lich phylactery type thing.
Uh-huh.
He's connected to this plasma candle that is like his main source of energy.
Okay.
So he takes over bodies and takes certain forms and feeds off of their life essence as like his main sustenance. And so
he's been in Ireland for years?
Generations. It's like using the Crusher family as like living batteries, specifically the women. And at the end, Beverly's like, "I have a gun, and I'm gonna shoot your phylactery," and it's over. And that's Sub Rosa.
Uh-huh. Okay. Sure, yeah, no, I'm sold.
You like Star Trek yet?
I don't have a good answer for that. Oh.
Who's in the background?
Zip's telling me something.
Okay.
I can't. By contract. Okay. Okay, so, I'm trying to... There's all the Q episodes.
Q episodes are fun. Q episodes are fun. Q is like,
I hear good things about Q.
Q is like the closest thing you get to like an actual god in Star Trek. He basically can just manipulate all of reality around him, however he wants.
Does he
but
just
it's kind
hang
of
out?
just, yeah, he's just this super being that's like, I want to specifically his main goal is I want to see what makes humanity worth preserving. I want to.
Wow.
That's his whole thing. Is he plays games with Picard to be like, show me that humanity is worth anything. Show me that humanity is worth being like in the universe.
And I assume every single time Picard pulls some crazy thing out of his butt, and Q's like, "All right, sure."
Sometimes, a lot of times, it's just kind of like, "Hey, I'll help you understand what's going on, you might fail it, but also it's just funny to watch you fail.
So he's just around sometimes.
Yes. Like sometimes he'll just show up and be an absolute like nightmare menace who looks like he's about to do something terrible. Sometimes he'll just show up in the middle of the Enterprise with a mariachi band. That's not a joke.
Wait, hold on. I need you to repeat that last line.
Sometimes he shows up and he just like takes everyone on this journey and be like, I'm gonna be an evil person right now, but I'm gonna teach you a lesson. And sometimes he just appears on the Enterprise bridge and he has a mariachi band with him.
I like Q. I like Q a lot.
He was great. He gave Riker a cigar. Yeah, he there was an episode. I think it was the same episode where he's trying to tempt Riker into becoming a Q, because Q is like
a collective.
Yes.
Okay.
There's not just one Q, but they all have the name Q, and they all like share the same memories and thoughts, sort of thing.
Okay.
But they're all individual. It's weird. Regardless, Q is like, "Hey Riker, you want to be a Q? Do you want to see what you can do with my powers?" And
I assume Riker's just like, you know what? I've never been offered this before.
At first, he's saying no, but he keeps tempting him, and Riker starts to like it more and more. And yeah, the Q are from the Q Continuum, which is like their big collective. And there's a scene in this episode where he's tempting Riker, where he's like, "Wesley, you want to be a man, don't you?" And he like snaps his fingers and he turns Wesley into this Chad. He looks like this big buff Chad-looking dude, and it's like, oh no.
Oh no.
We don't talk about the half Q, half human. I don't remember that character that much.
All right, well now we're talking about it. Anyone in chat want to give me some tips about that one?
I don't really remember that character too much.
All right, Turnip, it's your job. Tell me about half Q, half crew. Crew.
Yeah, we know Wheaton didn't grow up to look like that at all.
Yeah. I'm so ashamed to admit that I thought Will Wheaton was cool when I was like 16.
Well, you know, we all make mistakes.
Yeah. I've grown as a person since then. You fuck. I can't say that. Q had relations with a human and had a hybrid. Is it still part of the Q?
No, Q wanted to have a kid, but it didn't.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, there was.
She's already committed salamander mother, so of course that wouldn't work out.
Committed salamander mother.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful phrase.
And it's true.
It's true.
Uh-oh.
You okay?
Yeah. I saw the chat moved too fast for me to see. There was something about someone getting possessed with a baby ghost and having a baby spawn and age rapidly and die.
Oh, I gotta read back. What?
See, this is what happens when we get a sponsored episode. We talk about things that we never would normally. Episode, excuse me.
They can live as long as they want. They didn't use their powers, but they had to save their daughter. Okay, I kind of remember that.
Chance of realizing.
Oh, yeah, Deanna Troy.
Oh.
Deanna Troy has an energy baby. I forgot about that. I don't remember. I gotta rewatch TNG. I don't remember a lot of these episodes.
Okay, so I guess the question is the Next Generation, like, great?
Good, yes.
Okay. Is it probably
Genuinely
the most popular?
so. Yeah, oh, yeah. I would arguably say it's the most popular for sure.
Wait, that's the one with Picard, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's definitely one of the most popular. It was Troy. She got possessed by a ghost alien who wanted to know what it was like to be human. Okay.
As you do.
As one does. That seems to be a very common thing. TNG is great until it isn't, and then it's still great. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like TNG is pretty rough after the first 2 seasons, and then it gets pretty damn good from there. There's some weird episodes near the end, but it's still all pretty good.
I mean, that feels appropriate for just shows of the time.
I still think TNG has the perfect ending.
Oh.
It's such a good ending.
All right, if anybody doesn't want to hear the ending of The Next Generation, close your ears now. Here's your 5-second warning.
It's hard for me to explain the entire ending because it's an hour and a half long movie almost.
Oh.
But it ends with most of the character story off and giving a very satisfying conclusion to like Picard as a character.
Okay.
Because a lot of the final story is about Q wanting to test Picard one more time, and like
That makes sense.
giving him this weird problem where he's also moving like forward and backward in time suddenly. So like we're in 3 different periods of his life where the first period he's first come to the Enterprise for the very first time, like at the beginning of TNG.
Mhm.
And then he's in the middle of the episode that we were currently watching, so he's like present day Picard.
Okay.
And then we warp forward like 30 or 40 years where he's like an old man on a farm.
Oh.
And there's a problem where in each one of these eras there's like a worm growing bigger and bigger, but backwards through time. So it's like it's starting as a really small wormhole in the future, and it's massive in the past.
Okay.
And so they have to fit the whole story is like figuring out what caused it and how to close it.
So really,
And-
it's just a really big wormhole that's shrinking. That sounds great.
Yes, Agente, that's very true. It's undone by Picard. But the whole point of the story is like showing how obsessed and closed off Picard is doing his work, because like early on in like when you see him in like the because the 3 different time periods when he's starting off at like the first day on the Enterprise,
Yeah.
he's telling all these people to do things that don't trust him yet. He's telling them to like go to this location because I need to find this wormhole. Go to this thing, trust me, I'm the captain, go here. Whereas in like the present day, of course, everyone trusts him because he's had all these years of like working with them.
Yeah.
But then in the future, people still trust him, but they're not as close to him as he thinks they are, and they're very like, oh yeah, hey Captain, how you doing? They don't really talk to him as a friend. They talk to him
Yeah.
as like an old colleague. So the whole point of the story was like, hey Picard, eventually you're gonna have to retire, and this is what the people will think of you for all the work you've done. Hey, maybe work with them and be friends with them more. And the end of the show is like the very last scene is all the major officers in their poker room because they play poker like as friends.
Yeah.
But Picard in the show has never played poker with them. And the final scene is Picard coming in. They're all surprised and like, oh, Captain, what do you need? And no, I'm here to talk with you guys and hang out. And they're all surprised as Picard sits down and plays poker with them. And that's the end of the show.
Oh, it's gotta feel so bad to walk in on your friends and they're like, "Do you need something?"
Well, that's the thing. He's like, oh, Captain, do you need something? And they're like, no, I was just coming in to say hello to my friends and come visit and hang out. And it's like he's sitting down and he's starting to play poker with them, and they're all like, oh, hey, you want to play? And it's like they're seeing a new side of this character that we've known for 7 seasons, who's been really stuffy and like no friends, no
7
family,
seasons.
yeah, 7 seasons.
Oof. Continue.
But it's just that feeling of like a character that we've seen be so closed off to everyone suddenly be like, okay, maybe even though this is my job, I can still have these people be close to me because they're who matter.
Yeah.
The job doesn't matter, the people around me is what matters most.
That's good.
And it's
I
just like
that.
it's just a good story to send off like an entire series.
Yeah. That's what happened to my voice?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry guys, I'm tearing up over this poker
Oh.
scene. That
Oh,
sounds
God.
like a lovely like ending point. I don't know if you could write a
it's
better one.
obviously it's obviously accented by like if you've watched the show and got connected to all these characters throughout the time.
Oh, for sure.
It's like I don't know. It's hard
It's
to
good.
have a good ending for any show, but
That's
I
a pretty
think
strong
that
one.
one pulls it off the best. Yeah.
That's good. And so it's apparently undone entirely by Picard.
Well, yeah, because then Picard becomes. I have many problems. I'm an old man, and I have unresolved trauma from when I was young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep. Okay. You know what? Who doesn't, buddy?
For the record, characters can humans can canonically become like 130 something years old in Star Trek and still be living. So like if you're 130 years old, do you think you'll still remember the trauma you had from something that happened when you were like 5?
It
Or
seems
do you
like
think you
maybe he'd be a little more preoccupied by the trauma of things that happened like 40 years ago. You know, when he was a captain.
Oh yeah, TNG is set like 100 years after TOS.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a pretty big jump.
That is how CPTSD works. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He
That's
did
fair.
get
Yeah,
he got partially Borgified, right? I imagine that would also be very traumatizing.
yeah, he did. I shouldn't talk down. I'm not saying like you can't have that trauma for all of your life, but a character like that still holding on to it. I don't know. That's just me.
Brain disease is the only thing that kills people and plot devices.
Kind of.
Wait. Wait, hold on. What? Did they cure
Like-
all disease except for brain disease?
Well, it's like future like brain disease based off of future technologies. So like a brain trauma from like transporting or something or warp problems.
Oh yeah, classic future issues like when you leave your Oculus headset on too long.
Well, you joke, but there is like multiple problems in Star Trek of like holodeck addiction.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of those. I think that comes up in Lower Decks at some point.
Watch and learn.
The ships themselves have brains in them?
Some of them, yeah. Well, I guess they all have AI.
All right, yeah, that. I mean, I don't think you can have a future story like that and not have like AI in your ships.
Worf almost died from a back injury related to being hit by a blue barrel.
Wait, what?
There's an episode where there's like a problem on the ship. I don't remember what the problem is, but like it jostles stuff in their cargo hold, and it drops a giant blue like Donkey Kong sized barrel on top of Worf and breaks his spine. And so he's like paralyzed.
Yeah, that's workspace. That's workplace risk and injury.
This isn't the funniest part about. I shouldn't say this is funny because it's still really messed up. But the whole plot is Worf has to either come to terms with the fact that he is a warrior that might be paralyzed for the rest of his life, or kill himself.
What?
Yeah, the whole dilemma is like everyone trying to convince him he doesn't need to kill himself. Yeah, he asks his own son Alexander, who is like 5 years old, and he gives him a knife and says, "You may need to kill me, son."
My God. Jesus Christ.
The whole episode is like Commander Riker being like, "Are you gonna tell your son to kill you because you don't want to go through physical therapy to possibly walk again, because you feel like you failed as a warrior?"
Nerves of steel.
I can think of a
It's
few
such a-
people that would take that choice, actually.
Yeah,
I don't approve of it, but I know a few people who would take that choice. Not a great idea to ask your child to do that.
you know.
Worf would later 1v100 Gem Hadar for these warrior race dudes, so this barrel could defeat 100 Hadar.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Oh no. Oh no. Worf is the equivalent of a Klingon weeaboo.
A
Oh.
little bit.
Oh
little bit.
no. Uh-oh.
Are you okay? Oh, I'm not look. Oh, I see what happened.
Oh no. Oh, we're
That's
okay.
concerning.
I'm okay. Oh! Oh no. Bosco, please help. Oh. Okay.
You doing okay?
I'm surviving.
That's what matters most.
Whoa, no. All right. Oh God. Oh, please let me down. Please stop clenching me. I forgot I had to deal with these things. Okay. Mission accomplished. We're good. All right. So Worf has a lot going on.
Most of Worf's stories are related to either emasculating him or him like coming to terms with the fact that he might not like being a Klingon.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can't have a Klingon story without coming to these kinds of terms.
Well, a lot of it's like no, like barely any Klingons respect him for like most of the show because he's in Federation like Starfleet stuff. So
Yeah.
he follows rules. He doesn't get into fights as much as he can. He's very like proper for as best he can as a Klingon. And
Yeah.
every Klingon's like, "Oh, you're just like a neutered dog."
Oh no. Oh, I feel bad for him. He already looks like that. You don't have to emasculate him.
And that's just like, yeah. But eventually he gets a pretty good job and like in he transfers over from the Next Generation to Deep Space Nine,
Oh.
and he goes from one show after the Next Generation ends. They bring him over to Deep Space Nine as a major character there too.
Is he like a weapons expert or something?
Yeah, security chief.
Yeah, that fits him.
Yeah.
I've known of Worf for very little time, and I feel I've decided that fits him.
How come Quo gets such a Zip? Do you know much about Star Trek 2? The only reason I'm here is because I'm spouting random facts.
it was getting difficult to keep up with all of the chatter in chat alone, and also raise space money,
Space bucks.
space bucks. See, Quo is here to serve as my workplace podcast.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know, the random Star Trek facts pod, which I'm confident actually exists in some form or fashion.
Factbot.
Yeah. Okay. So where do we? Okay, so we covered Worf. I may be asking for a lot, but can you give me a rough overview of the timeline of like Star Trek and major continuity points?
Okay. So I think in the very first one is Enterprise, in terms of like shows. Enterprise is about the very first Enterprise ship. That's like
that's Kirk, yeah.
No. That is Archer, Captain Archer.
Okay.
This is like the very, very, very first time the Enterprise has ever been in space. It's like the first human ship in space.
Gotcha.
And it's like this is before the Federation even exists. And it's all about like humans finding their footing in the solar system and like showing that they can lead, they can be a force in the galaxy, because that's to that point when they met the Vulcans. The Vulcans are the ones who first contacted them from outer space.
They would.
The Vulcans yes. The Vulcans had been kind of showing them the ropes of like, here's what it means to be part of the galaxy. Here's what it means to meet other races.
Did the Vulcans basically set the rules for Starfleet?
The humans, yeah, at first,
Okay.
and then the humans are like, we will help set the rules too.
And the Vulcans, I imagine, in their quiet little corridors are like, ha, they think they can be people.
Yeah, that's a lot of the plot of Enterprise, honestly.
Okay.
See, you don't deserve to be part of Enterprise. You don't deserve to be part of, or you don't deserve to be part of the universe. You don't deserve to go out on your own yet. And it's just like, it's a lot of that kind of storyline of like, we have to prove ourselves to the Vulcans.
We have to prove ourselves to these elves.
Yeah, pretty much. And yes, we could talk about the eugenics wars, I suppose.
Oh, well, we'll get to that after the approximate.
That's before Enterprise. That's like
okay.
what. So there was a eugenics war of like enhanced humans versus like regular humans and stuff, and it just basically plunged the world into chaos and apocalypse until the Vulcans came and were like, "Oh, we're gonna lift you up and make you stop being crazy people."
It sounds like it was necessary.
It was
the intervention.
And then Enterprise, and then from there it goes. I guess technically we would be at Strange New Worlds now.
Okay. So that's like a prequel to a lot of things then.
That is a prequel to the original series, which is following the original captain of the Enterprise, Captain Pike.
Got it.
He was the captain before Kirk, and then Pike the problem at a planet, and he becomes part of a zoo.
Oh.
There's like this alien race that's kidnapping other races to like make them to make
they would do that.
To make a sort of menagerie of like other races. So they kidnap Pike and multiple women from the Enterprise and be like, okay, which one of these are you gonna mate with?
Oh no.
But anyway, Pike stays behind, and then Kirk becomes the captain in the original series.
Okay. This is the
Is
part where I
Discovery?
briefly interrupt you to remind everyone that if you play Star Trek Fleet Command, Captain Pike is actually one of the recently released characters that you can have on your team.
It's true.
Yeah. Continue.
I didn't know Discovery. I think Discovery is before and after Strange New Worlds. I think part of it takes place before Strange New Worlds, and I think a lot of part of it is also like far in the future. But I could be wrong. I haven't watched Discovery yet. Full disclosure, I haven't watched it.
How do I have you on my show and you haven't watched Discovery?
Heading to the mule.
I also said I haven't watched Picard, but you didn't get mad at me about that.
Well, nobody wants to watch that. There's no way they're paying me after this.
No, you've lost all your money.
No, it's fine. They don't talk about Picard at all in the thing. It's fine. All right, so Pike stays behind and Kirk takes over.
Yeah, it's technically split into like 2 universes, but just based on where the stories take place and like the overall like timeline of where they would take place. After Strange New Worlds would be the original series with Kirk and all them.
Gotcha.
Then we have all the movies, which I don't want to talk about the movies in depth because they're all silly in some way or another.
That's fine.
And then
we'll ignore them for now.
we can go more in depth in them if we have time, but then we get to Next Generation.
Mhm.
And then Next Generation goes on, and then about midway through, Deep Space Nine starts.
Okay.
So both of these shows are kind of going on at the same time. Next Generation ends, Deep Space Nine goes on, Voyager starts.
Gotcha.
So Deep Space Nine and Voyager are running at the same time.
I call for the mule.
And then Voyager ends, and then I think the next part of the timeline is Picard? I think? Maybe Lower Decks? I'm not sure where Lower Decks is part of it.
Okay.
I think Lower Decks is after that, and then Picard, and then Discovery again.
Okay.
So that's pretty much just like the overall timeline of like from beginning to end of the story.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
With
sorry,
various
Iggy. We talked
timelines.
about the whales earlier.
Yeah, we talked about the whales earlier.
We talked about the whales for a while.
And yeah, odds and evens is the Star Trek rule. The odd movies are usually pretty good. The even movies are pretty bad. Not entirely. Some of the no, I think it's the other way around. Because 2 is good, 2 is con, 4 is okay.
I had a credit for every
I think 3 is The Search for Spock, which is not great.
We didn't talk about the vessels.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the nuclear vessels.
I know of that. I don't know what that is.
That is that is a character on the original series who has a very thick Russian accent, trying to talk about nuclear vessels,
Okay.
and he
Okay.
just keeps calling them nuclear vessels.
I mean,
This is the whale movie again.
of course it is.
Chekhov is trying to steal trying to find nuclear powered things to help their ship so they can get back home. And he's like sneaking into like military ships by himself.
Alone?
I think he's alone. I know he's with Uhura for a little bit, but I think he goes off on his own into these like giant ships to find them on his own.
Okay.
Yeah, this was American in 1989, so he was a Russian to find nuclear stuff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Any
Right.
other questions?
Yes, actually, I only have questions. My
Of course.
questions have only deepened.
Of course.
Tell me about Khan. I know of Khan. I've seen the memes. I have heard
Okay.
the name. I don't know who
Khan-
Khan is or why Khan is important.
Khan was a character in one of the original series episodes. So the episode itself isn't that great of an episode. It's
Mhm.
more the movie that he gets his infamy from, but Khan
Yeah.
is like we talked about the eugenics war and all that.
Yeah.
He was one of like the super soldiers, like the perfect beings that was created
Ah.
during that time. But after the wars were over, they sent a bunch of them into like cryo sleep and into space to like
Ah.
hide them with like a sleeper cell agent sort of reactivation if they were ever needed.
I mean,
But of course they weren't.
yeah, you
No, go
don't
ahead.
have wars anymore. What are you going to need super soldiers for?
Right. So I believe it's the Enterprise stumbles upon this ship, and because they don't really have the sleeper cell activation, the Enterprise opens them up, wakes them up. they're like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you guys doing in this pod?" Sort of thing.
Do you
And
thaw them out in the sink?
Let's get them in.
yeah, they just threw them in the sink like a frozen turkey and just kind of waited for them to thaw.
Look, I'd believe it. Star Trek's weird.
Did you know that they in the original series they do not eat regular food most of the time?
They have pills, right?
They have cube food.
Cube food.
Cubed food that's like perfect nutrients in cube form.
I, I wish I could sometimes.
Because they didn't have the replicators that they would have in later series.
Ah, that's right.
But Khan comes out and is like, "Hey, what year is it? The war's still going on." And they're like, "No, there's no war. What are you talking?" And then Khan's like, "All right, I'm gonna begin this crusade. I'm gonna bring the war back and finish my mission."
Because he's not worth anything if there isn't the war.
Right. And so they kind of deal with that, and they end up kicking him off. They end up getting him off the Enterprise, and he goes off on his own to be a villain another time. And then he comes back. He looks completely different in the movie. He has a new appearance.
A new actor, I'm assuming?
Same actor, I believe, just completely different looking appearance because it was like multiple years later, like a long after his first episode. And he comes back. He's like, "Kirk, you bested me last time, and now this time I'm going to defeat you and kill you and take everything you love." And I believe he kills Kirk's son in that movie. Spoiler.
Oh, I didn't know Kirk
But
had a
also,
son.
he gets a son like in between the movies and the show.
Okay.
It was like, "Oh, I had a kid between the series and all this stuff." Again, paraphrasing, skipping over a bunch of details. Same actor, yeah, Ricardo Montalban was Khan in both the show and the movie.
Handsome
But
man.
of course, he got older. Yeah, of course, he got older over time, so
Of course.
he didn't look exactly the same as he did. He kills Picard's son. Picard, my God, I'm sorry. I saw Picard on my phone right now.
Yeah.
He kills Kirk's son, and then he's about to destroy the Enterprise by like leaking and destroying like the main core.
Okay.
But Spock goes into the reactor and turns it off on his own and prevents it from leaking out, which in turn kills Spock.
Oh no.
So they send off Spock, and I think they killed Khan in the movie. Like they destroyed his ship and blew him up. I wonder, was it his brother that? Because Khan kills someone. Was it his son or was it his brother? Either way, he kills someone related to Kirk and then causes all that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he has the most famous Spock line: "The needs of the one outweigh,
yes.
or the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one," like that.
Gotcha.
It's a pretty famous scene. Again, I'm looking like the worst Trek fan because I'm like, fully.
Ah, it's fine. Look at the person you're talking about it to. I'm not gonna correct you.
I'm heavily paraphrased because again, I've only seen most of these series once, except for like Deep Space Nine.
You told me about transparent aluminum. You could say literally anything, and I would probably believe you.
It's true. There's a lot I could say. There's a lot of silly stuff in this series.
I feel like you're having a harder time trying to figure out something that isn't true.
Did you know that there's a very famous character from Deep Space Nine who people love but has never said a single word in the entire series?
I'd believe it. Who is it?
Yeah. His name is Morn. He never says a single line in his entire show, but in the entire Deep Space Nine show. But he's in like a good majority of episodes.
Why?
Because he's just a bar patron at Quark's, and he shows up every time there's a Quark scene, Morn is there. He sits and drinks, and that's about it. And everyone loves Morn.
You know what? I've decided he's my favorite too.
They make jokes all the time of like whenever like Morn leaves an episode, and they're like, "Oh, what was Morn up to?" It's like he wouldn't shut up about this or that, and Morn never talks. So they always joke about how he doesn't stop talking. Yeah, he implies he doesn't shut up, except for when he's on. He just immediately never talks.
He's shy. That's fine.
He's very shy.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode where he fakes his own death. Morn fakes his own death to try and get these people off of him that are trying to like get his treasure and kill him.
He's got treasure?
He's like a bounty hunter / treasure hunter.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's one of the other jokes. Is like they always say Morn does all these crazy things. Like Morn sleeps with so many women. Morn gets all these adventures, but we never see Morn's adventures ever.
That's not important in the grand scheme of things. He's their Bon Jovi, but it is not important to the plot.
Everyone loves Morn.
Maybe even I love Morn.
Everyone
Now.
loves Morn. Yeah, he's got a
Uh,
face like a truck, but he's great.
what does that mean?
He looks like a giant meatball shaped into a thumb.
Excuse me?
I gotta get a picture of him. Here I go.
Is he like Randy Savage leathery?
Oh, like that times 100.
Oh. Would he crinkle if he scrunched his face up?
He looks like he crinkles already. I've sent you a picture of the good boy Morn.
Oh my. That is if a leather couch was a person and got left in the sun for a while. Oh no.
Oh yeah, at the end of, with Morn's treasure, they find out what happened to Morn's treasure, and it's just a giant pile of gold. But at this period of time, gold has no value, so everyone's like, it's just a pile of worthless gold, and it's like just multiple like bricks.
I'll take it, hell yeah. Oh my god, let's see.
And yes, Silas, it is the famous internet hog.
Hello, Silas. Welcome in. It is I, the famous internet hog, who is also sponsored by Star Trek Fleet Command. You could type, there we go, exclamation mark star to hear the information, or exclamation mark code to see the QR code to download the game. Good things happen if you play the game, both to you and to me. We're talking about Star Trek because I don't know anything about anything, and I've learned a lot about nothing. I don't have a lot of good answers for what I've learned tonight because all of it is like sitting in my brain doing a few loop-de-loops and then flying out the other end in disbelief.
Thank you, Joe. I knew there was like a twist at the end of that. So it was like there's another Latinum, which is like what the Ferengi covet. It's like gold.
Okay.
It's like a precious metal for them. It's a combination of refined gold and latinum, which is what makes the latinum bars.
Okay.
But the latinum was stripped from it, so it was all just pointless gold.
Yeah.
But when, spoiler, Morn comes back to life, he wasn't killed, he wasn't anything like that. He faked his death.
Yeah.
And when he comes back, he the cup when he gets back to Quark's and like drains a bunch of latinum into the cup because he ingested all the latinum from it.
He licked it off the bars?
Basically. Yeah, you can't replicate latinum. You cannot make latinum like you can just make gold in Star Trek. So that's what makes it like a precious mineral.
Ah. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, he just takes a cup and just like spits a bunch of latinum into the cup as like a liquid and gives it to Quark as payment. And Quark like freaks out because it's like raw latinum.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, holding up.
Yeah, I'm doing great, honestly. I'm having a great time. Thank you for thank you, and thank you everyone in the chat for helping me learn about this strange new world. That's a callback. I did a haha. I don't know what to say. I've learned so many things that I think it's pushing existing knowledge outside of my brain.
That's fair.
So, Quark. Tell me about Quark. I'm just going from character to related character by this point.
Yeah, Quark is a very fun character. Do you know who Armin Shrimmin is?
No.
The actor? You've probably watched Zip play Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yes.
Do you know who Dr. Nefarious is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's Armin Shrimmin. His voice actor is Dr. Nefarious.
Okay.
So he played a character on Deep Space Nine called Quark. Quark is a Ferengi, extremely greedy businessmen.
They have the ears,
they're like
yeah?
They're like the goblins of Star Trek.
Gotcha.
And all they want to do is acquire money and have a strict set of rules called the Rules of Acquisition.
I've heard of this.
To dictate how you're supposed to make the most amount of money in your life.
Yeah.
One of the rules is exploitation begins at home. So, you know, Ferengi.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But regardless, Quark is like a very silly bartender who does everything he can to make money, and usually his stories involve him not making money
Of
and
course.
failing to make money in some way or another. And
Yeah.
he's always caught up in like some sort of illegal scheme to get a bunch of money, or he gets recruited by like nation security to go undercover and do something good for once.
Okay. Yeah.
You laugh, but that's like
Good for
yeah,
once.
good for once. Yeah, Quark's mom is extremely Boston. She's like she always tells like listen to your mother and do this and do that type of thing with an extreme accent. It's very funny. Yeah, Moogie. They call her Moogie.
Aw, Moogie.
Quark has a brother named Rom who's a little
Better.
slow, but
Oh.
he's a very nice character, but he's not super smart.
Oh.
But he's very smart in engineering. He's very technically minded, which they find out,
Gotcha.
and he becomes a station engineer.
Oh.
Yeah, his brother is like, I don't want anything to do with Ferengi culture. The Ferengi are mean. I'm gonna get married to this hot girl.
You know what? You go. I
He
forgot
ends
his
up
name already.
marrying Rom.
Rom. Thank you.
He ends up marrying like Quark's best bar girl.
A match made in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah, Rom quoted the Communist Manifesto in one episode.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an episode where Quark dresses up in drag and seduces a Ferengi businessman. I believe he's supposed to be posing as another Ferengi woman.
I feel like I've seen that being linked in Discord in the past.
Do you know much about Ferengi women? I imagine you don't.
Is it a situation like dwarven women where they kind of all just look the same?
No, there's a rule that I mean, we could talk about Ducat. I fucking love Ducat. Pardon my language. I love Ducat.
We'll get there.
Um, so Ferengi women, there is a law in Ferengi culture where the women are not supposed to wear clothing.
Oh,
And them wearing clothing is hideous. It is disgusting for them to wear clothes.
wow, that's a really convenient thing for their culture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. And there's multiple episodes where it's either like Quark's mom is like wearing clothing or like, Mom, what are you doing? Take off your clothes. Ugh. And it's like, come on, man.
They
How
knew
are you gonna
exactly
make
what
that
they were
joke?
doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing, and it's so awkward every time.
We'll blame
Yeah,
Rick Berman for that. Who's that?
He was like the major producer and writer of the shows at the time.
Was he prone to doing
Actually.
things like this?
Look at this smile. That's a Berman for you.
Oh. Yeah, alright.
That's an edited picture, of course, but that's Rick Berman. Of course.
No, I'll take that as his resting face. That's what he looks like casually.
Yeah, Quark's mom was kidnapped by Iggy Pop. Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, slow the phone. I still need to understand why Quark was like cross undressing.
From what I remember, Quark's mom, or there was a businessman who was doing business on Deep Space Nine, and it was with, I think they were going to coerce him to do something with another Ferengi woman
Okay.
as like leverage or something like that. And then Quark's mom meets the other Ferengi lady and was like, "You don't want to be like the other Ferengi women. You should wear clothes. You should break tradition." And she listens to them. And now they have to figure out what to do. So they're like, "Oh, Quark, you're womanly. Do you want to? You're gonna have to dress up."
What does that mean? In what way is Quark womanly?
I'm joking that I didn't say it like that, but Quark ends up having to dress up as a woman, and you know,
Putting the moves on?
putting the moves on a businessman for his. I think it's a debt he has that he needs to pay off.
Okay. Was he successful?
I don't remember. I do not think he was.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine so, but let's be honest. Ferengi
I
do
don't
not
know, Quark
appeal
looked-
to my personal sense of taste.
Quark looks pretty good in the dress.
I mean, if he was in a dress, he was breaking tradition, and that doesn't sound about right.
I almost showed you someone else entirely. Oops.
Does does this come up
I was-
multiple times?
No, there was a picture that barely showed Quark, but it showed the Grand Nagus, who is like the leader of the Ferengi, and he
Uh-huh.
is very gross.
Oh, oh, I
He is
thank you for
very,
your
very gross.
kindness in not revealing that.
He's very, very funny, but he is very, very.
All right.
Ferengi are great.
So I was asked to ask about Ducat. Is that correct?
Gold, yeah, Gold Dukat. So he's like the major, like one of, if not the major villain of Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
He is one of the leaders of the Cardassian Empire.
Why does this name sound familiar?
I don't know. You probably heard it once or twice around me or something. He is, like I said, the leader of the Cardassian Empire, and the whole plot of Deep Space Nine revolves around the space station of Deep Space Nine and this planet called Bajor,
Okay.
which was formerly under the occupation of the Cardassian Empire, but was freed by the Bajor Rebellion. And so technically the Bajorans are free and they're trying to join the Federation, but the Cardassians are trying to do everything in their power to either stop them or try to get the Federation to join into a war and be like, see, the Federation didn't or is trying to force themselves onto other planets. And as such, Gul Dukat is like a general. He's like a large figure in the Cardassian Empire, and he used to be the station runner of Deep Space Nine before it was taken over by the Bajorans of the Federation.
Gotcha.
And he is a very silly character. He's very competent for the most part until a certain point in the story, but he's just a giant goofball. He's got a great presence. He's very threatening. He's very smart, but he's also very silly.
Is he successful? Ever?
He's very successful. He's
Oh.
very successful. He often has most of his episodes revolve around him coming to the station for one diplomatic mission or another. He oversaw the occupation of Bajor, so he was like responsible for that entire planet,
Oh.
and it fell out of his hands. So a lot of his story is about like the delicate relations between the Federation and Bajor,
Gotcha.
as well as he is put up against either Commander or Captain Sisko, who was like his opposite.
Yeah.
He and Sisko are like the two major like opposing forces in the show.
They're foils.
But also, yeah, they're foils. But also, Dukat is just like the complete antithesis to everything Bajor.
Okay.
So a lot of his story is just like, oh, Dukat's here, that means we're gonna have a culture clash episode, or Dukat's here, oh, we're gonna have an ideal clash episode. And a lot of the times they don't really portray Dukat as like a villain. Like, you know, he's a bad guy, but they don't ever say he's like outright evil usually.
He's different.
He's very different. He's very complicated.
That's not bad.
It's not, and he's just such a good actor that he's so good at playing like an evil character you can't hate him. You hate what he does sometimes, but he's so good. He's so good at being a villain that you can't hate him.
And that's the mark of a good actor, if nothing else.
Oh yeah, he steals like every scene he's in. He's so good.
Well, shoot, I might have to look into it.
And yes, important fact for this: Sisko is Bajoran Jesus. This is true.
All right, well,
Power station located. We're ready now.
When you asked about like space magic and stuff earlier, Deep Space Nine has the whole thing of like the Bajorans are very religious people and they believe in prophets.
okay.
And
Cisco is
because
one,
of that-
maybe.
Sisko is the speaker of the prophets, or he's what is the specific word? I'm forgetting. It's not speaker. He's basically like the one that the prophets reach out through. He's kind of like the emissary. He's the emissary of
The emissary,
prophets,
got
is
it.
what they call him. Yeah, thank you, Joe. I got it. Like right as you said it, it was the emissary of the
Yeah.
prophets. And because of that, because he's just like this human, he becomes like a problem of like, well, the Bajorans don't trust the humans, but this guy is suddenly the emissary of our gods. What do we do? I guess we have to trust him.
Yeah. What else can you do?
Mm-hmm. Star Trek's great.
Star
Deep
Trek
Space Nine
is
specifically is great.
Star Trek is a lot of things.
Sure is.
I
How's your
hope
mining
to-
going?
It's going great. We are attacking a rival company's technology because nobody's allowed to strip mine and destroy this planet but us.
This is our planet.
I feel like this has been a Star Trek episode at some point.
Yeah, that's again most of Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
A lot of Bajorans were like, either forced labor or worked in like mines.
That's fair. Is there valuable things on Bajor?
A lot of resources, tactical position of the planet, just things like that.
Yeah, right. Normal war stuff.
The planet is like on the edge of, I think, the quadrant. I believe it's like on the edge of like their territory. So it's like they have to be careful what they do there.
Gotcha. It's
Not
just
a-
barely within their jurisdiction.
Yeah, not after the Cardassians are done with it. It's true.
Yeah, alright. Their gods are also just aliens in the wormhole. What?
Yeah, there's a wormhole that exists outside of Bajor, like just next to Bajor in Deep Space Nine, that opens up, and it connects them to a complete other like quadrant of the galaxy.
Okay.
Like it's a ridiculous amount of distance away, but it's like traversable in an instant because of this wormhole.
Gotcha.
And this is where the prophets supposedly are. They live in this wormhole.
Sick. There's also the episode in which they went to mine dilithium and ended up mining sentient crystals.
Space Nine, or is that TNG? I can't remember. Yeah, there's just a lot of sentient like objects.
Yeah. Is it ever explained what triples are? Is that Star Trek?
That's TOS.
Okay.
Yeah, he's tribbles are like gremlins. You know the movie Gremlins?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to feed them too much or they're just going to keep multiplying.
So they're
Like
parasites.
infinite? Yes, they're extreme parasites.
Gotcha.
To the
okay.
point where if there's no food nearby, they will just eat another tribble nearby.
Oh, okay. am I hitting every checkbox of Star Trek references known by a normie?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
The only thing you haven't said is do you know what type of tea Picard drinks?
I do not.
Okay, that's like the other one. It's Earl Grey.
Oh, yes, I know of that one. Here's another one. What's up with the four lights?
That is also related to Deep Space Nine partially.
Yeah.
The Cardassians were in the middle of like their sedition, and I believe it was Cardassian. We can look it up in a second, but I believe it was the Cardassian.
Okay.
Picard was captured and tortured for a long time because they wanted to get secrets out of him because he's a Starfleet captain. He has a ton of secrets.
Yeah.
And in doing so, the whole plan was this Cardassian guy was going to basically impose that he was better than Picard. He was stronger than Picard. He was smarter than Picard, and break down his will to make him feel like he is a lesser man,
Okay.
and force him to tell him everything because he is lesser than him. So the whole plot was, as he's being interrogated and tortured, there were these four lights behind him, the Cardassian guy, and he kept telling Picard, "There are 5 lights behind me," but there were only 4.
Okay.
So he was trying to basically convince Picard that everything he was saying. He was trying to convince Picard, 5 lights. You will listen to what I am telling you to say. There are 5 lights behind me.
He's gaslighting Picard.
Extremely gaslighting Picard, and it's a rough episode because you see just how much Picard gets put through, and how much and like mind broken in a lot of ways.
Huh.
But at the very end, Picard almost breaks. He wins. He smarts the guy.
Yeah.
And as Picard is starting to leave, he pauses and looks at the lights, and he screams out of, "There are 4 lights." And leaves.
Yeah, all right. Just kind of a last-minute FU in the
Oh
end.
yeah, that's the thing. As he's about to lose, as like Picard's about to break, he does see 5 lights because he's just so delirious with torture.
Mhm.
And as he wins, he screams, "There are 4," and he
Good.
wins.
Ah, so that was the breaking point where he managed to snatch it back from the edge.
Right. Because it's like one of the closest point Picard comes to like actually losing.
Ah. He gaslit himself back to normal.
You ever just gaslight yourself?
That's just confidence, baby. Come on. Come on. Ah. There we go. Sorry, I'm hacking.
No, you're fine. I'm still doing phone things.
Hacking into the mainframe. May I ask? Actually, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if I'm contractually allowed to. They'll tell me.
I would say let's say err on the side of caution.
How are you liking the game?
I think it's really fun and interesting because it has a lot of just genuine references and sort of like terminology that a Trek fan would get.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's enough here that like even someone who's not familiar with the property would get a good time out of it.
That's good.
There's a lot to it, but I don't think it's so much that it's like overwhelming.
That's good. That's good. I'll be giving you my genuine thoughts by Tuesday when I bring it to stream. However, I'm glad to know that you're having a fun time.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I could not tell you when exactly we're starting on Tuesday, but I will be starting with it. And then probably moving on to something else once I do my contractually obligated 2 hours. That's fine. They know that I'm saying this. Yeah, no, I'm just glad to know that it's fun. It is a big old strategy fest from what I understand, and I don't play a lot of those.
It's like strategy fest with like character collecting, but also not idle game, but you know what I mean, like that, where you can do things and like let it go for a little while.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it gets quite close to overwhelming. That can be the case, yeah. I understand that at certain points, things will open up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's pretty
incremental.
It's pretty good about like kind of giving you good tutorials as best it can, but there is still a lot of stuff you have to manage and pay attention to.
That's fair. Very worried you're not tied to my account. In all likelihood, you probably are. It takes a little while for progress to get registered from mobile to, like, here. If you're worried about your name not showing up, it may take a while longer than expected. That just seems to be kind of the standard. Remember that if you do want to show up here on stream, the method by which we register that is when you reach level 5 and unlock your second ship. That second part is important. Gotta get your second ship. Okay, I can't keep jumping like that. I just keep blowing around. I'm in a level with severely lessened gravity, and these normal wind gusts, which do not bother me at all most of the time, are just hurling me all over the place. Alright, so, I was going to say second question, but I've asked you probably about 30 questions by now.
Many questions.
Many, many questions. The questions don't stop till I walk in. Don't stop until it pop. That's not the right song.
Don't stop, make it pop. I get you.
If you were to handpick maybe a series, not like a season, but a series that you think I would enjoy, where do you think I should start?
I would personally say Deep Space Nine, just because I think that's the one you would enjoy the most.
Okay.
Just based on your tastes and what I know about you.
Yep.
You might also like The Next Generation, but that's Deep Space Nine is more serialized in the sense of like, while each episode is usually like its own self-contained story, there's a lot of stuff that kind of builds on top of each other.
Okay.
So like you never feel like each episode is just like its own story and then it doesn't matter again. Stuff builds up. Episodes matter to the overall plot of the show.
Okay.
So it's like if you like seeing payoffs later down the line, I would recommend Deep Space Nine for just like the overall story. But if you just want really good like sci-fi space show, TNG.
Got it.
TNG is just like there's a lot of good episodes.
That's good. I've been asked to ask about the Picard maneuver.
The Picard maneuver is how he adjusts his shirt.
He
So
adjusts his shirt?
if you ever see Picard sit down or stand up or even just move in general, he'll usually reach down to like the waistline of his shirt and like adjust it and make his entire shirt straight so there's no wrinkles whatsoever. And that's just something he started doing. Like that wasn't written into the script. It was just something he started doing on his own, and it became part of his character. Of him just like straightening himself out.
I think I've watched a video compilation of just him doing that.
It is entirely possible.
It was like, I want to say something like 5 to 8 minutes long, and it's just short clips of him standing up and getting down and like adjusting his shirt over and over again.
The shirts also were not very comfortable.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that the costumes didn't get comfortable for a very long time. And with how much time they spend in single scenes, I wouldn't be surprised if they were in those for an extremely long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking for. Is that it way down there? No, it can't be. Where is this? Okay, so we passed over movies earlier. Is this the right time to ask about them?
I mean, we can if you want. I don't mind.
How many of the movies have you watched?
I've seen most of the original movies. I think there's only like one or like maybe one I haven't seen. And I've seen a few of the Next Generation movies. I didn't see all of them though. I've seen like 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
But I would say most of them are pretty good to decent. There's 1 or 2 that's not good. But what are you gonna do, right?
Which one's not good at all?
Because
obviously I gotta ask about that one.
I believe, what is one? Nemesis. Star Trek Nemesis is not good.
See, that's a name that I believe I have heard, and I don't know why.
I believe that's the last of the Next Generation movies. And Tona, I think
Tona's got other opinions.
Is it an opinion of it's good, or is it an opinion of I should not talk about Nemesis?
We're gonna fight on that. All right, Tona likes Nemesis. Quo thinks he doesn't like Nemesis.
I'm sorry, I just don't like Tom Hardy being half.
I'm sorry, what?
Tom Hardy, you know Tom Hardy, yes?
I know Tom Hardy.
He plays the villain of the movie, who is like a half clone of Picard.
Oh.
And he's probably the only good thing about that movie because most of it is not great. The final battle is fine at best, but so much of it is just kind of boring and weird. Just like this idea of Picard having a genetically engineered half-brother based on his own DNA. And they fight, and this guy wants to become Picard. He wants to take his place.
Oh.
It's just really bizarre.
Anyone who's watched Picard in the chat, does this ever come up again?
Yeah, I mean the spaceships fights are fine, but I wouldn't say like they're the overall. I like the space fights when they're also combined with plot. So like That's why I kind of like this game so far, is that there's actual plot relevance to when you go around and do stuff in your ship. But
I feel like there's gonna be a fight in the stream tonight. Goodness.
I think Tone is gonna attack me.
Ask about Thomas Riker and the Mackeys.
Do I have to talk about Thomas Riker though? Do I have to talk about do I have to talk about the Maquis? Oh, the Maquis is easy. The Maquis is like an offshoot of like Federation rebels who were not happy with the way the Federation like sought like peaceful solutions with everything.
I mean, that sounds
And
like a pretty common issue.
I think they were also a little like xenophobic and they didn't like alien races. A little, just a little bit, not a lot. And they are actually kind of an integral plot to Voyager of all things.
Oh.
Because the Voyager plot is because it all happens because Janeway was supposed to be going after some Maquis rebels, and then everything that happens in Voyager happens because she was chasing after those rebels.
If it wasn't for those rebels, she wouldn't have become a happy mother.
It's true. She wouldn't have had a lizard and a lizard baby.
Yeah.
Thomas Riker is a clone of William Riker.
Okay.
And another instance of I liked Star Trek, so I watched it. So for you, Quo, to come in here, listen, Tony, you can like Nemesis. It's fine. I'm not saying anyone that likes it is bad. You can enjoy what you enjoy.
Yes.
I do not like Nemesis that much. I think it is very silly.
If it got you to enjoy the show, then it's good. That's it. but also, not everyone has to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some interesting things that could have been used in it, but then also bald Tom Hardy.
Well, it's not like it's the first time he's been bald on camera.
And I think that was one of his first roles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was one of his first acting roles. So yeah, it might have been the first time he was bald on camera.
I can't believe that paved the way for, what was it, Bruno, I think? The movie where he was a bald strongman, I think it was?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm making no progress.
It was a transporter accident that like split Riker into two different Rikers, and
oh my god, I'm going the complete wrong way. Sorry, continue.
No, let me figure out your developing stuff first. It's less important than me talking about clone stuff.
No, yours is helping me to better connect with my sponsorship. I am just working in the wrong direction.
It's another instance of a character that's like, I want to exist on this ship. I want to character. Maybe I'll take over his life.
Oh, this seems to happen a lot.
I mean, what else are you gonna do with the clone episode, right?
All right, fair.
But then it's like, no, you can't do this. You need to leave. And then I think he goes off and joins the Maquis.
Oh.
Because he doesn't like the way the Federation does stuff, if I remember right. And up again in Deep Space Nine, the clone is not actually Riker.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's all weird.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it checks out.
Yes, that's Star Trek.
Yeah. Do they ever address that these transporter mishaps seem to happen so often?
No. Funny enough, in Enterprise, because so much of Enterprise is like before they have a lot of their technology. Like, there's no transporters in Yes, Thomas Riker also has great sideburns. That's how you know it's not Will Riker.
Oh, well.
He has amazing sideburns, even though they're kind of like almost mutton chop level.
Like, mutton chops are great.
Yeah, they are. But I lost my train of thought. Oops. Transporters.
Yes.
Does he know? What am I thinking of? What are the sideburns?
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Lower Decks approached the transporter issue at some point.
Oh, that's right! Oh my god, Joe, you're right. I forgot about this. Yeah, that's right. I forgot how they revealed it wasn't Riker. So on the Deep Space Nine episode where he was pretending to be Will Riker, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He there's a stinger before like the commercial to show that it's not Riker, right? To
Yeah.
like be dramatic for when the show comes back after commercials.
Of course.
And what he does is because Riker has a big beard, not a big beard, but he has a full beard. And Thomas Riker, when he sits down, reaches up and peels his sideburns off. So he just has a goatee. That's what it was. I knew there was something with the sideburns and them like not being they're being like exaggerated or not. That's what it was.
Wow.
I don't want to talk about the Klingon human virus thing. I don't. Maybe all like the obscure stuff.
Well, here you are being my ambassador to Starfleet Command in general.
I have to like. I'm having to like look up to make sure I know what we're talking about. Okay, yeah, this is what I thought. Yeah, if you didn't remember that one throwaway, yeah, you were completely confused as to what was going on with Thomas Riker.
Of course.
Transmitter node on the way.
Do you want me to talk about the virus stuff, or are you getting tired of me talking off about random?
No, you
Pardon my language, I'm so
physically
tired.
you physically cannot stop me from being interested in this. You're a very good
Okay.
presenter of this knowledge.
So, do you know Klingons? You know
Yeah.
Worf,
Yeah, Worf.
Mr. Worf.
Wrinkly,
You know how they have
forehead warrior. I love Worf.
you know their big forehead ridges and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
they like prunes.
Do you know what they look like in the original series? Because they were in the original series.
Worse.
This is the Klingons in the original series.
All right, I'll have a look. Oh, they're just guys.
They're just guys that are just kind of like evil warriors, sort of.
Okay.
But
Oh shit.
because they changed in between the original series and the Next Generation, there was always a discrepancy of like, well, why are these Klingons not with forehead ridges? Why do they not look like Klingons, right?
Yeah.
Never felt better.
Well, you see, in Enterprise, this is the first series, canonically the first series where they're like the humans are first going into space.
Yes.
They encounter the Klingons again, who had never really encountered humans that much. And because of that, they were being very sneaky with being spies against them. And they were augmenting Klingons to look like humans. Okay?
Yeah.
Because of that, the augmentations ended up failing a little bit, and they could not reverse them. So we have these Klingons that are still Klingons like humans. And it augmented all of their genetic DNA. It made them still stronger and intelligent, like more intelligent than normal Klingons,
but prettier.
but they don't look like Klingons at all. So this was a retcon to make it make sense as to why Klingons don't look like Klingons in the original series. They had a whole plot line dedicated to being like, yeah, these are still Klingons. This is why.
I can't fault them for that. Like, sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, it was mostly issues back in the day.
Oh god. Oh. I dug into a geyser. I'm sorry. Oh god. Gotta get my bearings back. All right. Wait. Okay. So the disguise worked a little too well.
Yes, and they couldn't reverse the disguise. So now these are like a subset of Klingons that just exist now.
Do they ever talk about it ever again, or is that just like a
well, that's
what
I'm talking about. Like, Enterprise is where they talk about it, and then it just never gets brought up again.
Okay, yeah. It's just these guys are here. Don't worry about it.
This is why the Klingons look weird. It's not because we didn't have the budget to do good prosthetics.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not because the original series' budget was a piece of gum and shoestring.
And yet they managed to make history so many times. Alright, now that I've done the worst hacking job anyone's ever seen. I may have given someone illegal cable in the process.
You do this.
Yeah, it's... I can't fix it. I can only make it, like, work. Does Starfleet get cable?
Activating the hacking drone.
You know, they have some, I think, recreational, like, entertainment of some sort, but usually they don't show TVs very often,
Yeah, I figure.
if ever.
It feels like it would be... Well, I say it would feel weird to watch TV and see someone watching TV on TV, but I remember that is how literally every episode of The Simpsons and Family Guy starts, and they've been doing great, so it can't be that weird.
It's true.
But it's still... It would feel weird to imagine a nearly utopic future of unprecedented technical advancements, and they still just watch TV. Like, maybe that is just, like, a human thing to do, but I feel like maybe by then we would have gotten over that.
In a world of holodecks, who would watch TV? It's true. You can just live TV at that point.
Yeah. In 2040, 51, 2040, 51, a real time period, Jeff Bezos III installs Audible in everyone's brain directly, and so they just have a second mini organ attached to their brain to listen to audiobooks at all time, so they're never bored.
I like how we're only at the third Jeff Bezos.
Well, Jeff Bezos II worked on clone longevity and was a pioneer of that technology.
That's fair.
But it didn't get it set up in time for him, so he had to make one more clone. Could you even remotely say that I was lying about Star Trek in saying that?
Unfortunately, no.
Is cloning a regular thing? It's gotta be.
No, that was part of the whole eugenics war stuff. A lot of stuff is not like people tamper around with cloning, but they don't do it too much.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that would be very eugenics-y, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
In a world with holodecks, who's watching TV? Exactly, yeah. Gotta show Leshii the camera-stabilized version of the bridge being attacked? What?
Yeah, so I'm sure you've seen scenes of like like when they're under attack and like you see like the camera
everything's
shaking
vibrating and stumbling everywhere.
So they have to jostle around in their seats for the attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the set isn't shaking while that's happening.
They're just pretending, of course.
So they're just like shifting back and forth in their seats while they're supposedly under attack.
Please, if you can find that, please send it to me.
I'll try and find some.
Twitter definitely got destroyed in Star Trek. I believe it. There's no way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's no way they still have that. If they're, like, working for the greater good of the galaxy, there's no way someone didn't look hard at Twitter and go, like, this is a net negative for life. Hey, Quo, please stop whatever you're looking up for me and get rid of that bot, please.
I see it.
Thank you. I could have asked for that much nicer.
Be
I'm
gone.
sorry.
Be gone.
I was trying to figure out how to handle that. I wanted to ask you that more nicely. Don't know why I said that so rudely. Quo, do your job.
Do your thing.
Cloning is a regular thing for the Vorta. Are the
the
Vorta
Vorta are
a
like
regular
from
thing?
Voyager. They're a weird race from out in Voyager. They're like really gross and like they do a lot of work. Oh, am I thinking of the Vidians? Hang on.
You say out in Voyager like the same way someone would say out in like
Oh,
Minnesota.
the Vorta. I'm dumb. I was thinking of the Vidians. What was I thinking about the Vidians?
I'm taking some
No, I remember now. I was thinking of Vidians, my bad. Too many V names. But yeah, Vortas are just like all clones of each other, and they just kind of share memories. Like when one dies, they just kind of turn on the next one of the same person.
Yeah, all right, fair.
That's like one of the main villains of Deep Space Nine is named Wayun. He's a Vorta
Mhm.
for the Dominion, and they make a whole point multiple times of killing him in an episode, and he'll just come back like, "Oh, that was Wayun 5. I'm Wayun 6."
Definitely, totally different. Don't worry about it.
It's really funny.
Have you?
And yeah, everyone.
Go ahead.
What's up? No, what's up?
No, you finish your thought. Mine's off topic.
I was just agreeing with what Joe said. Is that everyone loved Wayun? He's a great character.
Have you ever seen / played the Endless series of games? There's like Endless Legend, Endless Space, Endless Space 2.
Seen, yes, never played personally. I'm afraid.
Okay, so in Endless Space, the space civ game of sorts, there is a faction called Horatius.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of them. They are called so because it is a race of clones. All of them are named Horatius. Every single one of them is Horatius. It is
That's
not a hive
amazing.
mind.
That's amazing.
They were spawned from one guy who has a really big forehead.
Of course.
Named Horatius, who like fell into like a cavern containing like ancient alien cloning technology and decided,
Okay.
I'm beautiful. I'm gonna fill the entire universe with me. So he
Okay.
created millions of clones of himself, and
That's
created
pretty good.
yeah, created a whole society of Horatius, and he's got this big old forehead. And it reminds me a lot of what you're describing with the clones.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really funny.
Yeah. His shtick is that he is mildly xenophobic.
Apparently
Like
they're
who?
eco-terrorists, according to Boggy.
They are eco-terrorists. It's true. Because they will assimilate other creatures, right? But in the sense that they will give them, effectively space-age plastic surgery of a quality no one's ever seen before to look exactly like Horatius, and then take their alien DNA and whatever benefits they can salvage from that, and effectively like inject that into the entirety of Horatius society like a vaccine. So they will gain alien traits to their benefit as long as it doesn't ruin their appearance.
That's great.
So it is a very genetically diverse culture of sorts. Of sorts. But they are a really big example of like world building that I'm very, very fond of in sci-fi.
No, that's really great. That's really, really funny.
It feels very Star Trek inspired. All right. Sorry, I'm fighting a boss now.
No, you're good. I'm watching. You're doing good.
Thank you. Oop. I'm running out of ammo. Alright, sit tight, everybody. Star Trek chat will resume soon, I promise. I
think the fight's more important.
I have to survive first.
I'm gonna go get some water while you're doing this.
Yeah, please.
Right
You gotta
back.
stay hydrated. Everybody go get water right now. It's mandatory. I will still be fighting this when you get back, I promise. Oh. Weapon overheated, oh no.
Watch for the cluster grenade.
Uh-oh.
All clear.
Just gotta hold on tight, everybody. Thank you for your patience. And thank you, everyone who's trying this game. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Find the open eye and shoot it.
I hope everyone's having a fun time, a fun night, etc. Uh-oh. Just a little bit longer.
Cluster out. Save yourself.
Just one more.
Let it rain.
That's not where it said it was going to go. There we go. All right.
That was my last night.
Whew. All right. There's our objective. We managed it.
Now let's get the thing.
Now we just have to get out of here alive. Oh, okay. We're good. I hope everyone's having a good time. I hope everyone's having fun. Thank you all for joining what is apparently my Star Trek Discovery tour. I hadn't really anticipated that I would be learning so much, let alone enjoying the process so much. My Orion Corvette crew, captained by Beverly Crusher. Second is Will Riker. Third is Data. That sounds like a responsible team to me. Also, welcome back, Qua.
Thank you. Agente found me the slash GIF of like
The stabilized.
yeah, them stable.
Perfect. Joe says we haven't talked about Star Trek Discovery at all.
That is outside of my wheel of knowledge, I'm afraid.
Ah, okay. Well, you know what, Joe, you keep your cards right. Maybe we'll talk about it on Tuesday or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, a lot of Discovery is out of my wheel of knowledge, unfortunately.
Is that one of the newer ones or one of the older ones?
That's the first of the new ones, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't watched a lot of the new ones. I watched the Strange New World season. That's it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Better hurry.
Then you should be very familiar with all of the new faces that coming soon to Star Trek Fleet Command. I hope
Yeah.
I'm saying it correctly.
Oh yeah. Access provided.
It's because you
That's
said
the
this
boss.
was
Oh,
your
yeah.
Star Trek Discovery episode. I don't know anything about Disco. All right, fair. It's true. This is my Star Trek Discovery episode. More Discovery here than Discovery Trek.
We got it. Huzzah! Nice and all.
Discovery.
Go, go, go.
Trek Discovery.
Discovery also feels like they made Star Trek Avengers. That's kind of what I hear.
Is it just like all of the characters you know and love in a single ship?
Not quite. It's more so the writing than the characters.
Oh, is it very action focused?
Very action, very quippy, like a lot of
Uh-huh.
quips. Oh yeah. There were the Red Letter Media parodies, and they're like, "Oh, we actually might have gotten a plot point." Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's bound to happen with those guys. It just seems to keep happening. I watched their review of several of... Just let me on the ship, please. Let me on the ship, please. I've got minerals. There we go.
Let me in.
Let me in. I've watched their review series about Star Trek movies a few times now. I don't know if they're strictly indicative of the quality, because I didn't retain
Well, I mean,
any information at all.
Of course, they have their own opinions on the movies and stuff.
Yeah,
So you always gotta take it with a little bit of grain of salt.
of course. I spent more of my time watching their Best of the Worst series than anything else, so I'm not thinking of them as high critics.
No, exactly.
But I've definitely watched a few of their reviews of Star Trek in general, as some of them have been like going back and watching the series again. It's
yeah,
been
well, it's interesting watching people who actually really, really know a lot about it. Like
yeah.
I know a decent bit now. Obviously, I'm not the most well versed. Whereas they're like, yeah, we know all this stuff easily.
It's a lot to take in. I feel like in a certain way Star Trek is one of those exclusive hobbies in the sense that you can get maybe one or two as deep as like Star Trek fans get in your life before you start running out of space for other hobbies.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
I'm sure people say the same thing about streaming and Disney. Yeah, Doctor Who is similar in the sense of like you can be a fan of like two things in your life, and this is one of the big things that occupies that space. Leshii, you mentioned Reginald Barclay as a playable character in Fleet Command. Can you guess what his unflattering nickname is? Am I allowed to say it on stream?
Yeah, no, it's not like it's a bad word or anything.
Is he Reggie?
No,
Okay,
it's his last name that they make fun of.
Barclay. Barkley? I don't know. I'm not good with broccoli. Really?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the best they got? Is that really the best thing? Oh, okay. I can't say anything because I literally didn't come up with it myself. But
in fairness, the people that came up with it was a bunch of engineering nerds, so they're not known for being super funny.
yeah, fair. All right. No, that's fair.
Oh, that's right. Picard comes up with it, and then all the engineering guys are like, "Yeah, let's keep doing
Oh no, it's a bullying thing.
it."
Rude. Well, I hope everyone's had a fun time. We've certainly crossed over my usual time, so we may call it here. But thank you all for joining me. Thank you for joining me, Quo, on this unexpected.
Yeah, I was not expecting to jump in here, but I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. You've opened my eyes. You've opened my soul. You've opened a wormhole to the depths of space, and now I control a small tribe of aliens who see me as a greater being.
We're talking about your stream again.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah. Watch as I exercise my control of them to say hello to another higher being. Who's up right now? Is it the Bajorian wormhole? No. Though I do have a timeshare.
You go to Ryza?
Sure. Uh-huh, definitely.
Think of any timeshare you've ever heard of, and that's just a planet of that.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah. Very cool game. Yes, if you want to see more, you can check out Deep Rock Galactic. It is dwarves in space. It's literally dwarves in space. Just that's all it is. You
like dwarves? You like space?
You'll get them both. Great. Every single dwarf VTuber plays this at some point in their life. Some more frequently than others. I can name a couple that do so pretty regularly. You know what? Let me shout them out. Actually, here's two of my peers who regularly play Deep Rock Galactic. So if you want to watch people who look a little bit like me, but less hot, play this game way better and with way more risk. I believe Ogrim does it on Mondays, almost every Monday. I could be wrong. And Horatius does it when he can. Anyway, Ryza's horny 24/7 as long as the weather machine works. What?
Yep. Ryza has a giant weather machine that keeps their planet at like a perfect temperature for like vacations and people coming to visit. And because of that, it's just a planet full of vacationers that are just constantly looking to blow off steam.
Yeah, all right. That checks. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
but anyway,
all the rest checks out.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope everyone had a fun time. I hope you continue to have a fun time with Star Trek Fleet Command. Looks like we have one of our initial 10 level 5 and ships. So congratulations. Thank you
Very nice.
for participating and helping me out. It doesn't show the name. It might be.
I think it was probably Tona.
It could be any number of individuals. Again, this will be slow to update. I'll keep y'all posted. You will see the game in action on stream on Tuesday. I'll make a better announcement about that in the future. I am finding someone to raid. I don't want to interrupt this collab, so we're going to pass over them. You know what? We're gonna raid old pal Justa, who's playing Octopath Traveler. It may not be the same style of game, but he's a swell dude, and I hope you'll give him some love and affection.
But hey, Octopath is neat.
Yeah, Octopath is great. It looks very cool. I wish I played it when it was new. I will not find time for it now.
It's a long game.
Yep. Yeah, it sure is.
Sure is.
Sure is. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Thank you again, Quo, for hopping in here. Maybe next time we'll get Joe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. See y'all until Tuesday. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Good time. Later. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder and your whole your own
please.
stream.
I was terrified the entire time I was alone.